I got to come up here to be with Dane. Welcome to Frankie Lau Stadium, where the Edgewater Eagle fans are screeching, clawing, and tough. But in comes a migrating blue darter from Apopka, trying to claim its territory. It's the fight of the birds, but only one can save its nest. It's the Apopka Blue Darters visiting the Edgewater Eagles. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Josh Guerrero, and today we're seeing a very interesting matchup between the 92 ranked Apopka Blue Darters and the number 64 ranked Edgewater Eagles. Apopka's coming off a homecoming win of 49-0 against Westport, who is looking to improve to 4-1 this season, led by head coach Jeff Rolson, who's in his sixth season, who's trying to lead his team to another state championship game and hopefully win this next one. On the other side of the coin, Edgewater is coming off a 31-21 loss to Jones, trying to get back on track to a 4-2 record, which is currently a 3-2. Edgewater is led by Coach Cameron Duke, who's been phenomenal as a tenure head coach here at Edgewater and trying to lead his team to their first state championship. When we return, we'll be stating some other games coming on here in the Orlando area. And yeah, that's happening. You're watching Edgewater football on the NFHS network. Be right back. This is music. Welcome back to the Edgewater Apopka pregame show presented by NFHS Network. Josh Guerrero here. Let's talk about some other games that are going around here in Orlando today. Of note, previous opponent of Edgewater High School, TFA, is playing at the 4-0 Atlantic today. Another game that's going on today, Olympia is playing Lake Nona. Number 4 Seminole, you might know him because of Michael Clayton, old Edgewater quarterback, is playing 4-0 Lake Wells. A game that I'm excited to see the results of. Number 2, Lake Mary is playing number 17, Dr. Phillips. East River is playing 4-0 Windermere. Ocoee is playing known rival Boone. Number 13, University is playing number 3, Yale. That's going to be a very exciting game. Another exciting game on our list. Number 16, Spruce Creek is playing number 25, Titusville. And then number 18, West Orange is playing Lake Buena Vista, while Leesburg is playing Land O'Lakes. And then another exciting matchup going on today. Number 11, Hawthorne is playing number 21, South Sumter. And finally, the number 1 team, Cocoa, is playing 4-0 Venice. A lot of exciting games on the slate here today, ladies and gentlemen. But so far today, we're going to be showing you some exclusive game footage from Edgewater and Apopka. So stay tuned for that game. when I come back, I'm going to be talking what Apopka does well, what Edgewater does well, and what do both teams need to do to win, and my official predictions. You guys are watching the NFHS Network, Edgewater versus Apopka pregame show. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Apopka Edgewater pregame show. Josh Guerrero back in the studio with you guys. Now, listen, Apopka, very good defensive team. They got two prospects on this team that are being scouted currently. Their big name player is Kingston Shaw. He has 8 offers. Arkansas, Marshall, Toledo being some of those offers. And then their quarterback, Tyson Davidson, has an offer from UT Martin. Now, granted, Apopka has a history of producing talent, players most recently known for Eagles defensive tackle Jalen Carter. You guys got the edge rusher for the Bengals, Trey Hendrickson, and then players like Brandon Merriweather. But Apopka's gem player that they have produced within the last 30 years is Hall of Famer defensive tackle Warren Sapp. Now, let's talk about what Apopka does have to do for this game. This is what I'm looking for Apopka to do if they want to win this game. First thing that Apopka wants to do, they got to lock down the running game. Edgewater gets their offense going through the running game. Perry Prime and even Emmanuel with his legs, and even Samaj Fleming being a pure athlete, they got to stop the run early. If they stop the run early, then they have a chance to be in this game. Another thing that they got to get going is Tyson Davidson, pure athlete out there. The offense this season for Apopka has been quite abysmal, to say the least, although they had a very upward performance last week, winning 49-0, as I mentioned earlier. So getting Tyson Davidson going, and even with, a questionable Eagle secondary, maybe we see some plays out there. Who knows? And then the last thing that they have to do is that they can't give up big plays. Carter Manuel likes to make big plays with either his legs or through the air. Even running backs like Julian Prime and Josh Perry, they make great big plays with their legs, especially Josh Prime. If they limit those opportunities, then Apopka will have a chance. Now, let's get on to Edgewater. Edgewater, obviously, they have all their prospects, Kamani Williams, Jatorian Dugan Brown, Aiden Anderson, their offensive linemen, Bankowitz, Wilkerson, both top-tier offensive linemen. And then can't even forget about their stars, Carter Emanuel, Josh Perry, Tyson Carter, Brandon Paul, Christian Henderson, and the great dynamic Samaj Fleming. Now, listen, this is what I'm looking for out of Edgewater personally. This is what I'm looking for. You got to keep Apopka's defense on their toes. Listen, they have a very solid defense. Their defense, the most points they've given up this season has been 6 to Dr. Phillips. They let up no points against Ocoee, no points against, actually only 3 points up against Evans, that's something you got to minimize in this game. You know, if you keep their defense guessing, especially utilizing people like Samaj Fleming and Tyson Carter, that's what's going to be happening. And speaking of Samaj Fleming, my second point that I got to get to is that you guys got to prioritize using the versatile Samaj Fleming, whether that's using him on the outside slot or even lining up in the backfield. Samaj Fleming is going to be your most dynamic playmaker, and getting him throughout the game is going to open up more opportunities for guys like Tyson Carter, Luke Anderson, Carter Emmanuel, and even the running back Julian Prime and Josh Perry. And the last thing I have that Edgewater has to do is that you got to speed up Apopka's offense. Listen, Apopka's offense has been really weak this season. You got to keep your defense on lockdown. I know last week against Jones, that defensive line has been very questionable. Like trying to see what they have to do for that game, trying to stop Jaquali Smith. But this is Apopka we're talking about here. So guys got to keep your eyes peeled for that. Now, listen, I got to go off my official prediction. Listen, I'm not going to lie to you. I think Edgewater is going to beat the brakes off of this Apopka defense. I feel like Apopka's defense, sure, it may be really good, is not capable of, you know, keeping up with Edgewater. This is why my prediction is going to be Edgewater 27-7. When we come back, we will send you over to the press booth with Jesse O and Alvin Delvey. So keep your ears tight, peeled, and let's do this. Be right back.
Friday Night Lights doesn't get much better than this. Clear skies, a beautiful sunset, and the sweet sound of pads poppin'. Another Central Florida rivalry on deck tonight as the Apopka Blue Darters visit the Edgewater Eagles here at Frank Lowe Stadium. Grab yourself a libation, sit back, relax, and enjoy our coverage of Friday Night Lights here on CBS Sports Digital Network, presented by Advent Health. Hello, everyone. Let's have some fun. Jesse O alongside my strong safety, Mr. Alvin Delvey, Josh Guerrero with the pregame show and the halftime show on deck. Edgewater does not win the coin toss. Apopka wins, defers. They will kick this one off. Michael Wells sending it from right to left. Bang! Friday Night Lights is up and going. Now here is Tyson Carter, who could take it from the end zone, but it is a touchback. So Edgewater and their offense is going to come out onto the field going left to right. So here's the thing, Alvin. The story of the tape was last week. Edgewater gets down by Jones 31-21. The offense really did not have anything going in the first half. Really tacked on those 21 points in the second half. How does their offense start firing on all cylinders today against a good Apopka defense?
They do exactly what they did in that second half. You did a good job mentioning that. And it was really just a tough going, especially in that offensive front, trying to make sure you're creating holes. And it was really big plays that got them going in that first half. And obviously, there was some struggles there. However, the good thing is you got points in the second half. You can utilize that and see if that can give you some momentum to start off this game.
So Carter Emmanuel takes the snap from the 20, goes play action, now rolls over to the right side past the 20, 25-yard line, dives forward to the 26 or 27. So that's a pickup of 7 yards on his first down run after the play action. Josh Perry joins him in the backfield. It's going to be second down and about 3 to go from the 27-yard line.
That's a big run on first down, and you have the cornerback, Judah Harvey, making that play. And as all DBs know, if you're making tackles as a DB in the run game, things might get difficult if they start running that play action.
3 receivers left, 1 over to the right. A play action again to Carter Emmanuel. Now Samaj Fleming has it for the first down past the 35-yard line, and we'll get up to about the 38 for the first down. That's a big pickup there for the Edgewater Eagles of about 10 yards.
Samaj Fleming is a dude, absolute stud, the true definition of ATH. And in the second half of that Jones game, Jesse, he did not get a target, carry, nothing. So seeing him getting involved early in this game is exciting for Edgewater faithful.
Wildcat formation. Samaj Fleming is going to take the direct snap. Now he's going to go towards the left side. Gets past 1 or 2 defenders before he spun down on the far sideline. Got up to the 42-yard line. That's a pickup of about 3 on the carry, second down.
Apopka hangs their hat on the defensive side of the football. Despite them scoring 41 points in their last matchup, their defense is their calling card. And Edgewater, watching them march down this field, obviously they're only at halfway. A lot of things can be done here, but it feels good if you're Edgewater. Being able to move the chains, get positive yards on first down, and you got second and medium.
The second down hard count for Carter Emanuel. They did not hike the ball. Still second down and about 7 to go from the 48-yard line, left hash. Now Josh Perry goes in motion and will go over into the right slot. 3 receivers are to the right, 2 to the left, and a timeout already taken by the Edgewater Eagles. So the offensive woes, maybe a little bit of a hangover from last game. Obviously not the way they wanted to end up against Jones. And Edgewater had a plan against Jones on Saturday night last weekend against Camping World Stadium. What the Eagles did not plan on, however, was the running of Jaquil Smith, the tailback for Jones. Edgewater doubled up Jones star receiver Vernell Brown III, the number 1 player in Sentinel's 2025 Central Florida Super 60 for much of the game, but the manpower needed in the defensive backfield left the running game open, and Jones definitely took advantage. Obviously, Edgewater was a little bit upset with maybe some of the officiating calls during the game, Alvin. In particular, a 31-yard touchdown catch by Brown from quarterback Darion Coleman. Brown appeared to come down out of bounds, but it was ruled a touchdown. And another play that had the Eagles coaches up in arms was an apparent fumble recovery by Edgewater on an onside kick that was waved off by a penalty for being offside. So
huge calls. Huge calls.
With 10:03 to go, Carter Emanuel is going to go quarterback keep up to the 45-yard line. Gains 2 on the carry, a third down coming up. And now we are seeing what you said earlier. This Apopka defense has been so good so far this season. They've only given up 12 points all season.
But they have not given up a touchdown, as our stat guy, Josh Guerrera, has given us that fantastic stat. He's doing an excellent job feeding us information and making sure we sound crisp on air. I'm excited to see if that's going to be more of the same for Apopka's defense, or can Edgewater break that tradition?
Another quarterback keep, and Carter Emanuel is stuffed. No gain on the carry. An interesting call on 4th now and 3, on 3rd and 3 to go with the quarterback keep.
You get Amir Brinson, an outside backer, plays a little bit of strong safety, 5'10", 178 pounds, but he used his leverage on that play, screaming downhill and making a play on 3rd down. Interesting play call for sure, but not all the time you're trying to get the home run on the first quarter. You're trying to set things up so the game opens up a little bit in that second half. It's going to be a game of chess for sure.
Kinley Curvin punting this one away from the 25-yard line. Back to receive now is Miles Fieldings, who will let this one bounce inside the 10. A nice punt there as Apopka and their offense will take it from the 7.
And this is really good for Edgewater, flipping the field, and this is something that was very difficult to do in last week's outing versus Jones, is getting advantageous field position. Right now, you have this Apopka offense starting in horrible position, and if you're Edgewater, you should be thinking, man, if we can read our keys, get our hands on and off, fill our gaps, and just play fast and free, should be able to make something explosive happen here.
So Apopka will take it from the 7 right down the middle with 8 minutes and 41 seconds left to go in the first quarter of this ball game. An Orlando matchup that we wait for every single season. Apopka and Edgewater's last 3 games have really been decided by just a couple of scores. The tailback is Jockey Sanders, and we might have movement on the offensive line already.
Yeah, it looks like that up back just walked right into it, and nobody's said, and movement is not what you want to see. So if you're Apopka, you're already walking back. Started off in a bad field position, a little bit of nerves, could be some miscommunication there. Nonetheless, you're backed up and you're behind the chains, behind system, in enemy territory. This is not where you can afford to make mistakes.
Edgewater now taking it on defense and pushing Apopka back into their own end zone. The ball will be placed on the 3-yard line, the snap, and then the handoff to Jockey Sanders, who goes up the middle, falls forward up to the 5-yard line. So gains 2 on the carry, 2nd and 13 coming up.
D-line had a rough outing last week. However, in weeks prior, they've done an excellent job of sealing gaps and allowing their linebackers to scream downhill and make plays. And right there on that last play. D-line does a good job holding up front. Linebackers can read flow correctly. We get a tackle for a minimal gain.
Gun right as Tyson Davison, the quarterback, will take the snap from the front of the end zone. Now hands it off to Sanders, who goes up the middle again, maybe for a gain, if not 0 yards on the carry. Now 3rd down and 12.
When the D-line plays correctly, it allows your outside backers to make plays, and Justin Edwards is the latest addition there. Good job reading down, gets a down block, screams down, his shoulders are square, able to make a play on the football on that dive. Gotta love that type of play from your linebackers.
3rd and long now for Apopka, who still has their quarterback Tyson Davison at 6'1", 190, the junior, standing at the front of their own end zone. Edgewater's going to rush 4 as Davison drops back to pass. He's going to sling it far over on the near side, incomplete. His receiver streaking down the near sideline was Demarion Cawthon, and they're going to have to punt this one away. 4th down, and the kick will come actually from the middle of the end zone for the punt.
That was a great job again by the D-line. I said that 3 times in a row, getting pressure on the quarterback, and that allows A.J. Hewley time to get his hands on the receiver and just allow that little bit of mistimely play. Gotta love that for Edgewater.
Michael Wells kicks this one from the back of the end zone. Samaj Fleming and Tyson Carter back to receive. Carter's got it from the 50 right at midfield. Now he's going to cut back towards the near side, get to the 45. Now the 40. Now the 35 before he's finally pushed out just inside the 35-yard line on the near side. Maybe got back up to the 32. Edgewater with great field placement as their offense now comes out onto the field for their 2nd time in the game.
Again, a game of field position. If you remember, they had to punt that ball middle of the field, and defense gets an excellent 3 and out after that initial false start. And now you're starting in excellent field position with a chance to do something crazy here and crack the goose egg off the scoreboard. Obviously, you have to read your keys. You have to be stout. You have to be smart, play clean football. But, man, this is a prime opportunity for the Eagles.
So the Eagles will take it from the right hash at the 31-yard line in Apopka territory. 2 receivers left, 1 over to the right. Carter Emanuel at 6'1", 210 pounds. The junior transfer over from Lake Nona is going to take the snap as he stands at the 36-yard line right hash. He calls for the ball, and now we'll hand it off to the big back, Julian Prime, the senior, going towards the left side, getting slammed down, but not before he picks up about 5 on the carry. Nice run there. This tailback room has been really good for Edgewater so far. The 1-2 punch of Josh Perry and Julian Prime, that's 5'11", 190, and then 5'10", 215 coming at you.
The biggest thing about those is those tree trucks keep churning. He gets that first contact, dragged for another 2 yards, and he falls forward. Demoralizing for a defense when you can't make that guy fall backwards. And this running back room has been able to turn their feet and fall forward for positive yards time in and time again.
Brandon Paul into the left slot, 2-by-2 with the receivers. The snap coming from the 27-yard line left hash. Carter Emanuel's back to pass, feeling the pressure. He's going to be wrapped up and not be brought down, but it will go in the books as a sack for the Apopka Blue Darters. Coming in for them was Trayvon Williams, the defensive tackle.
Trayvon Williams, Ashton Sylvian. That was a slew of guys that were coming in there, darting in on that defense, making a play. And a few of those guys go get a breather. And just too much time for those routes to develop. No one getting open, and that's what you're seeing there. But 3rd and long, you're still in field goal range. Ideally, just want to get something safe, get something closer so you can get a nice chip shot for your kicker.
Halfway through the first quarter. 3rd and 12 coming from the 33-yard line left hash. Carter Emanuel takes the snap, looking right, throws it that direction. Pass caught, Luke Anderton inside the 20. They're in the red zone and picks up the first down, plus an extra 7 or 8 yards up to the 15-yard line. A nice play there and a perfect throw on the money from Carter Emanuel to his tight end, Luke Anderton.
That was a beautiful play call. You get that nice long hitch, relatively looking like a comeback, and he drops that. There's a little bit of sand there. He's able to keep his feet, catch the football, turn upfield for a little bit of yards. Anderson's doing an excellent job.
With 5:38 to go in the first quarter, we're going to take a timeout. Still a 0-0 ball game. Edgewater has reached the red zone for the first time in this bout. We're just over halfway through the first quarter. Edgewater is in the red zone coming from Apopka's 15-yard line as Samaj Fleming goes in to the left slot on the motion. 2 receivers left, 1 over to the right. Carter Emanuel takes the snap, hands it off to Prime, going right side, got a blocker up front, runs right into him, though. Picks up 3 on the carry, 2nd down, and about 4 to go.
Big Ben Bankowitz getting out there looking like prime Jason Kelsey out there on that lead block. But you just got to love what these backs are able to do, just eating up tackles and turning their feet. Only a short gain, but the thing about the run game, it's something you want to continuously do. Force those DBs to pay attention to it, crowd that box, and allow for those play actions to hit. You can see some seam runners in the back end.
So from the middle, it's Carter Emanuel with the direct snap from the 13-yard line, goes up to about the 6-yard line, just 1 yard short of the first down markers where they will mark him. It's 3rd and inches now for the Eagles. I wouldn't be surprised if they just do the same exact thing here, or they give it to Julian Prime as Carter Emanuel will take the snap, and the officials will blow it dead. There was no timeout taken there.
Looks like it may have just been a ref out of a position, but regardless, you got to love how this offense looks since they've cracked into that red zone. We're seeing some hurry up. We're seeing a lot of run game, and honestly, that's Edgewater football. Starting through that ground game, ground and pound. From there, the ability to throw it up top. You got crossers, you got hitch routes, you got a lot of that short game, a lot of spot concepts. Just got to love the ability to mix it up, and right now, with the way that the run game's working, I'd be scared if I'm a Dart faithful.
So it was waived a first down. So now it'll be 1st and goal from the 10-yard line for the Edgewater Eagles. Their first time up here. Julian Prime goes all the way out, wide right side. 1 receiver left, 4 over to the right for Carter Emanuel, who takes the snap, looking right, now has an empty slot, goes up the middle. He's going to dive for the end zone, and he will run it in himself. Carter Emanuel from 10 yards out punches it in for the first touchdown of the game.
That's an excellent job by Carter Emanuel, having that shot clock in his head, understanding that, man, after 3 seconds, I got to get a move on. He heard Javon Williams barreling downhill, steps in the pocket, squirts out the back end, and gets a touchdown. Excellent job by an excellent player. What a way to capitalize on the field position game.
Kinley Curvin, the kicker, will be out to put this one through with 3:43 left to go in the first quarter, and that one is up and very good. Kinley Curvin, known for his leg, as the kicker, able to put this one into a 7-point lead for the Edgewater Eagles. So the Eagles offense fires on all cylinders on their second go about it. They go 50 yards on their last possession.
That's a true 3-pillar attack for Edgewater.
Yeah.
Defense does an excellent job getting a 3 and out.
Yep.
Great return on special teams. And then from there, offense can execute, hold the rope, get some points on the board. That's kind of the recipe to this thing. Just playing clean football, understanding in this situation, you have the advantage on paper. However, the game's not played on paper. It's played on grass, and you have to execute. Got to be physical up front, which is what we've seen from Edgewater. And now you have to do it time and time again. Every possession matters. This is going to be the 3rd one for the offense, 2nd one for the defense. I'm excited to see if we're going to see some blitzes.
Yeah.
For Apopka, if they don't have penalties, maybe, Jesse, maybe they could go get themselves a first down.
Malcolm Jones, Donovan Muldrow, and Miles Fieldings are back to receive for the Apopka Blue Darters. Kicking this one away, Kinley Curvin from Edgewater's 40s. That one will go in the air, and taking this one out will be Malcolm Jones. Jones going right down the middle and running right into the Edgewater squad at the 24-yard line, right down the middle of the field as he was stuffed on the spot. So it'll be 1st and 10 for Apopka's offense coming out onto the field, who really couldn't get anything going on their first drive. It was a 3 and out for them.
Will Marzoff and Gentry Wood laid the smackdown on that kickoff, and that's really the first play of defense is that kickoff. Good job popping pads, and now let's see what this Edgewater defense can do.
So Anil tailback in the game. That's Malcolm Jones going towards the right side before he gets brought down at the 26-yard line. Make that Devin Simmons, the senior.
That's a good job by him falling forward,
Yeah.
and he got hit right at the line of scrimmage. This D-line looks completely transformed from what we've seen last week, and man, testament to Jones, but really a testament to Edgewater and their ability to bounce back and understanding that it's just one game, and we have another opportunity here, and they're taking full advantage.
Ball's in between the hashes at the 26-yard line, as Tyson Davison will call for the ball at the 20. He takes the snap, looking towards the right side. We'll throw that direction. Pass is caught on the far side. That's a good one by Alexander Rossi, the sophomore, at 6 foot, able to bring it in. A pickup of about 7 yards on the pass, 3rd and 2 to go still. They have to get to the 35-yard line. They're currently at the 33.
It's a definition of a bang-bang play. Quick 3-step drop, excellent hitch route. Beautiful catch, and held it all the way through contact. Hats off.
Gun left for Davison. Davison taking the snap, and he will go run it himself. He'll be stuffed at the 30-yard line. That's a loss by Aiden Anderson for the Edgewater Eagles, coming in to make the tackle. And just like that, another 3 and out is what it might look like for the Apopka Blue Darters, unless they keep their offense out on the field there. And yes, they will switch up to the special teams unit because it's 4th and 4.
6'3", 235 pounds, has an offer from Appalachian State. Aiden Anderson has transformed and progressed year in and year out. Just an excellent job reading your keys, exploding through the gap, and making a play on 3rd down.
Michael Wells punts this one away. Samaj Fleming, who will receive it from the 39-yard line left hash. Now he'll take it back up the field, cutting back towards the middle of the field at the 50. Ball might have come loose right on top of the Edgewater Eagles logo, but the officials are saying he was indeed down, as the Eagles take over on downs here at the 50-yard line. So this is now back-to-back possessions where the Edgewater Eagles offense is going to get it from the 50-yard line.
Positive field position is just detrimental for a defense because you know you can't give anything up. And your offense having 2 consecutive 3 and outs doesn't help the cause either, because defense, if you can see right now, a lot of hands on hips. Body language isn't the greatest. Probably didn't get as much adjustments on the sideline as they would have liked. And now you're right back out there. Morale might be a little bit low. Got to find a way to make a play if you're this Apopka defense.
Samaj Fleming goes into the right slot. A lot of wide open room on the right side of the field. And now they'll motion over. Luke Pastis, the fullback, to the right side. And now it's a read option. They will give it off to Josh Perry. Josh Perry almost got clotheslined there as a flag comes in from the near side. That'll be a horse collar tackle as Josh Perry got into Apopka territory up to the 47-yard line right at midfield, but it's going to move further than that.
Luke Pastis, number 33, the linebacker, halfback, 6'2", 225. When you talk about a selfless act, it's blocking, especially if you're an athletic guy, you're a mid-skill player, which is a running back. To go out there and lay the wood like that on a stout guy like Donovan Muldrow, 5'10", 180. Excellent job springing Perry free. And, of course, we know what happens next. You get a horse collar, and you get excellent field position coming out of there. So excellent job up front by Edgewater, blocking sublime, and then you have backers that can turn their feet, have good vision, get upfield, fall forward. Ball security is the next thing you want to make sure you're keeping an eye on. This Edgewater offense looks phenomenal.
So Edgewater gets pushed all the way up to Apopka's 33-yard line at the right hash. Gun right for Emmanuel and the offense. Samaj Fleming going into the left slot now. A lot of wide open room on the far side of the field, as the ball will be snapped from the opposite hash. Carter Emmanuel immediately takes the snap, throws it over to the far side. Pass is caught by Tyson Carter. But, I mean, that's still only a 6 or 7 yard pickup, as it was thrown a little bit behind Carter as he had to come back for it.
And honestly, being grass, you're going to have a little bit of issues coming out of those breaks. But on first down, getting 6 yards, you'll take that every play. Yeah. You're at second and relatively medium, and playbook's pretty wide open, so you can do whatever you want. If you want to go on the ground, if you want to do a play action, want to do a QB sneak, you can do whatever you want here, and that's the exact position you want to be in.
So Josh Perry rolling towards the outside from the 30-yard line, goes to the far side, gets out of bounds, a flag thrown at the 35-yard line in the backfield with 33.6 seconds to go here in the first quarter as Edgewater leads by 7. It will now go to 3rd down and maybe a few, but Edgewater had a hold.
realistically, up until this point, it's been Edgewater just imposing their will, and their ability to get hands on and just drive men off the spot. That's really been something that stood out this game. And obviously, unfortunate circumstances, you're behind the chains again. Now, instead of being second and short, you're second and long behind the sticks. But based on what we've seen from this offense outside of that first drive, they've been able to pick up yards in bunches.
2nd and 15 for the Eagles now from Apopka's 37 left hash. In motion to the right slot goes Brandon Paul. Now 2 receivers left, 2 over to the right. As the ball gets snapped to Carter Emanuel. Emanuel back to drop and throws it over towards the near side. Luke Anderton, another big catch, spinning out of one tackle and getting tackled inside the 15. That's the second connection of the game from Carter Emanuel to Luke Anderton of 20-plus yards in the game.
Luke Anderton is looking incredible out there, 6'4", and he's utilizing every inch, the ability to stop on the dime, catching it with his hands, making moves after catch.
Carter Emanuel goes up the middle. Carter Emanuel calling his own number from the 15-yard line, his second rushing touchdown of the game, this one from 25 yards out. As time expires in the first quarter, Carter Emanuel able to take that one all the way in for the touchdown. So he's now got 25 rushing yards in the match, and those 25 yards are good for 2 touchdowns as Kinley Curvin will be out to attempt the extra point. Curvin will be kicking this one for the extra point from 20 yards out. Parker Miller, the long snapper. Carter Emanuel, the holder. And that one goes up, and it goes in. Edgewater finishing the first quarter in style. 14-0. Apopka's offense coming out after the break. Edgewater has been firing on every cylinder possible. Carter Emanuel for the Edgewater Eagles has 2 rushing touchdowns in this match. Good for a 14-0 lead. This Edgewater offense looks really good compared to last game, Alvin.
This Apopka defense has never let up this much amount of touchdowns this season, and they have a rude awakening walking into the Eagles' nest.
So Kinley Curvin kicks this one out of the end zone for a touchback, and now the Apopka offense will trot back onto the field. A tall task ahead of them. They've gotten 2 possessions and 2 3-and-outs.
It's rough, and as an offense, when you're not holding the rope, you're putting your defense in a compromised situation. Not only are they tired, but they're in a horrible position, field position-wise. And if you're this offense, your main goal is to just pick up 10 yards, get a first down, get a groove, find a way to just get to half field and try to flip the field possession in your favor.
Tyson Davison is the quarterback for Apopka, standing at the 20-yard line, left hash. He calls for the ball, looking towards the left side. He'll throw in that direction. Incomplete. His intended receiver was Jaquan Walker, the sophomore.
Blanket coverage by the defense. Relatively clean pocket, but, man, there is nowhere to go with those receivers.
So on the left side, Demarion Coffin will be the sole receiver, and now running out into the slot is Jaquan Walker. 2 receivers left, 2 over to the right. The tailback is Jockey Sanders. In motion goes Walker. And now the snap And the handoff to Sanders. Sanders on the near side, tackled for a loss of 2 yards on the near side.
That's really an excellent job, again, by Justin Edwards. Just understanding leverage, attacking that outside hit, forcing the ball carrier to cut back in, but he gets his hands on him and brings him down himself. So good job by the Eagles getting 11 hands to the football. Great job by Justin Edwards attacking his leverage. And again, for a Apopka offense, we get 3rd and long.
So 3rd and 12 for Apopka's offense, who's been 3 and out both of their possessions. 2 receivers left, 2 to the right. As Davison will take the snap. Now he's under pressure, rolling out towards the right, still at the 10-yard line. Gets clocked as he throws it. Oh, and he's going to be slow to get up.
That's really unfortunate, and that's honestly the benefit of having a good defensive line, because Noah Morgan ran an excellent post route, and he got a step on Edgewater's DBs, but unfortunately, because you're fleshed out, you're not able to set your feet and deliver the football, you're unable to connect there. Again, another 3 and out, 3 possessions, 3 and outs for Apopka's offense. You got to be a little scrambled here. Look for them to start opening some things in their playbook and doing things we haven't seen them do on film in a very long time.
By the way, Will Marzolf was the one to make the tackle there and absolutely clocked Tyson Davison, 6'1", 215 pounds for the senior, and now they're going to have to kick this one away. So the snap goes, and it gets blown dead. A flag comes out from the far side at the 15-yard line judge.
And that's honestly good for Apopka, because that ball was shanked.
So offside on the defense. It'll be a 5-yard penalty. And now Apopka will get to move closer towards the Edgewater direction, except they're still punting it from their own 23-yard line. And in fact, the punter, Michael Wells, is still standing at Apopka's own 10. Back to receive, Tyson Carter and Samaj Fleming. The kick goes in the air to just outside of the 50, signaling for a fair catch was Tyson Carter at the 40-yard line, left hash, and that's where Edgewater's offense is going to get it on this go-around. So, obviously, maybe Apopka is going to look to stop the run on this next series.
Yeah, and it looks like they're going to need some oxygen tanks as well. They already got well over 30 plays in this first half, and they know they're going to have to do the bulk of this thing. And honestly, if you're Apopka, your message should be, at least in your head, we got to force some turnovers. We got to stop the run, obviously, but if we get an opportunity to punch that ball out, you have to be looking at that, because we might have to score the football for this offense.
So Luke Anderton is the sole receiver over on the left side for the Edgewater offense from their own 40. They take the snap, and Carter Emanuel will play action in and rolls out to the right side, looking to throw it downfield. Got Samaj Fleming on the far side and from the 45. Now cuts back towards the middle. Now he gets to the 30, cutting towards the flat on the near side up to the 15-yard line. A 45-yard reception for Samaj Fleming puts the Edgewater Eagles into the red zone for their 3rd time in the game.
He has big play written all over him. It's a short route. He's not supposed to go that far. The ability to get upfield, make a move, make guys miss and cut back. Great job.
Here's Julian Prime taking it towards the left side. Maybe got back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up.
Donovan Mojo earned that tackle. It took the full brunt force of Prime, and that is not an easy task, and you got him down 5'10", 180. Did a good job with that road tackle.
2nd and 10 when we return. 10 minutes and 32 seconds left to go in the second quarter. Edgewater is up 14-0. After a minute and a half has been played in the second quarter, Edgewater is already in the red zone for their 3rd time in the contest.
In EA Sports.
Back here for a 2nd and 10 now. Edgewater is in the red zone. from the 16-yard line, left hash. Carter Emanuel and the offense as he will play action it. Now looking to step up into the pocket and run it himself. Going over towards the near side in the corner of the end zone. Does Samaj Fleming have it? Yes, he does. The first touchdown of the game for Samaj Fleming. Edgewater tacking on another 6 on the board. And the third all-purpose touchdown for Carter Emanuel. A 16-yard pass for Carter Emanuel to Samaj Fleming. What an impressive showing by this Edgewater Eagles bounce back here from that Jones game.
Yeah, they are having their way with this Apopka defense, offense, whichever side of the football, they're dominating. And right there, you just get an excellent job by Samaj mirroring your quarterback when he's out the pocket and finding a green window. And it's in the corner, finds a way to get both feet in. Yes, that would be good in the NFL as well.
Yep.
Secures the catch. Looks like Chad Johnson on the picture frame, and you guys knock up another 7 points. So Edgewater's offense has been humming on all cylinders. The run game's been working, and they've been able to complement that with a pass game that has been stellar. So Edgewater looking completely different than what they did in that first half of the Jones game. And really, since that second half, they've really been unstoppable.
If you're a fantasy football player, you would want Carter Emanuel to be your quarterback right now. 2 rushing scores, which would have been good for 12 points. Another throwing touchdown, which would have been another 4 points. So he'd already be at 16 points right now, and we're just in the second quarter, 21-0. Edgewater is trying to tack it on as much as they can to this Apopka Blue Darters team, who is ranked number 9 in Central Florida right now. Edgewater at number 5 after their loss 31-21 against Jones.
This is the part of the game also, if you're Edgewater, you have to really be careful, understanding that this game isn't just where you want your ceiling to be. You want to continue to perfect your craft. You want to make sure you're reading your keys. And honestly, you want to lock in even more now that you have the lead, knowing that a lot of times when you have a lead, it's easy to give it up.
It does seem to be a big thing nowadays in not just Florida football, but Georgia, Texas as well, where no lead is ever safe. As the kickoff will come and go to the far side and be a touchback. Trotting back for it was Malcolm Jones, but it was just out of his reach as Kinley Curvin kicks it for another touchback, and Apopka will see if they can get past the 30-yard line on this next possession. Apopka has only had 3 and outs so far in this game.
Just have not figured out a way to get 10 yards in one single possession. And that's a testament to this defense. The D-line looks incredible.
The snap and then the handoff on the end around. That one coming over from Camara Medina as he gets up into the 22-yard line on the near side. Tackled out of bounds for a 2-yard gain. 2nd and 8 coming up.
That's exactly what you want as an Edgewater fan. You have a sweep, and he runs 20 yards to gain 2. Good job by Edgewater stringing it out, forcing them to go east and west. And as soon as he puts his foot in the ground to get north, there's a slew of guys ready to gang tackle him, and you only get a loss of 2.
A lot of open space between the ball on the right hash and the left side of the field. 3 receivers are over to the left. The wideout all the way on the far side is Demarion Coffin, and only 1 receiver on the near side. Devin Simmons is the tailback at the right hip of Davison, who takes the snap, now drops back inside the 15, throws it up towards the middle of the field. Nice catch by Coffin, who's up to the middle of the field, up to the 47-yard line, right down the middle. Good for a first down. A pickup of 27 yards on the pass.
Wow. The junior, 6'1", 187, and that was a snag on that in-cut pattern. Looked like a little bit of a high route slant, and he's able to drag a couple of defenders to get the biggest play that they've seen the entire game.
2-by-2 with the receivers. Now coming to pass it is Davison. Now over to the near side. Simmons has got it going forward, and he is absolutely trucking guys, but just gets back to the line of scrimmage, maybe picks up an extra yard, still 2nd and long.
Talk about a profile tackle, A.J. Hewley with the wood. Good job in open field. That's one of the most difficult places to be. Coming downhill, you're squared up with the guy. He could go right, he could go left. He gives you a stutter step. You just attack that inside hip, pull the hamstrings towards you, and drop him down. Excellent job.
2 receivers to the left, 2 over to the right, second and long for Apopka. Still in their own territory from the right hash. As in motion, they send Jaquan Miller. As Miller was trying to get it from Davison, a fumble on the play. That'll be a loss of a couple of yards as Davison just falls right on top of it. So on another jet sweep, they motioned over Walker, and Medina was also over there to fall on top of it. So Apopka's offense goes in the negative direction, and it's now 3rd and 15.
Just like that, everything looks so good. You get a big play. You got some momentum, feeling good. You're at midfield, and then you drop the ball on the field, and just like that, it's 3rd and forever. And you're not in field position. You're not in a situation where you can get points on the board, so you need a little bit of heroics here. Can he get 15? It's looking difficult.
3 receivers are over to the left side, 1 over to the right. A lot of open space on the left side as the ball gets snapped from the 36-yard line as this one is blown dead. We had a flag come in from the far side right at the line of scrimmage. This one's going to be walking backwards. It looks like a false start on the Apopka offense.
Not only has Edgewater been beating them just with their ability to read the keys and understanding assignments, and gap integrity has been sound, but Apopka has been beating themselves every possession seemingly with a penalty, and this one hurts even more because you had positive yards, you had momentum, and 2 penalties back-to-back. That does terrible things to your momentum, especially when you're down 21-0 with 7:36 left in the second quarter.
And the penalties for Apopka have been on both sides of the ball. Now, Davison back to pass, and now we'll run up towards the 40-yard line. Now the 45 before he spun out of bounds, so picked up about 7 or 8 yards on the carry, and that's going to bring up another 4th down. So after their first down of the game, Edgewater makes them go 3 and out on the next set of downs, and Apopka is kicking this one away.
Now, if you're Apopka, the only thing you can hope for is an absolute boom of a kick so that we get them pinned within that 10, and from there, try to put them in just difficult situations.
Wells kicks it from the 35 over towards the far side as Tyson Carter will take this one from their own 20. He goes now towards the near side, and he was spun around by his own teammate, Perez Martin, the defensive back. Kind of was in the way of Tyson Carter as he was trying to run upfield and sort of pushed him towards the left side, kind of told him where he needed to go. A little brotherly shove, as we'll say here.
Edgewater's offense is backed up, not in a terrible situation. However, we've seen them just go the length of the field whenever they wanted. Outside that first possession, they got, the cobwebs off the offense a little bit, and they've been dynamic since. So I'm expecting to see more of the same. This Apopka defense really has no answers.
The brotherly shove, as Alvin and I do to each other all the time. Carter Manuel over to the near side. Tyson Carter's got a blocker up front. Good enough for a 2-yard pickup on the reception. 2nd down.
That's just a really good job just window dressing. You get Jaden Wilkerson, O-lineman, 6'7", 330-pound senior. You put him out on the far side of the field, so defense is assuming, okay, we smell it right here. We're going to allocate some resources there. You throw it on the other side, and you let Tyson Carter get a one-on-one.
6:20 to go in the second quarter. 21-0 game as the handoff goes to Josh Perry, who goes towards the far side. Josh Perry tackled for a 3-yard loss. Back to the original line of scrimmage. That'll bring up 3rd and 10 from Edgewater's own 25-yard line.
That was an excellent job on the far side, and difficult to see who that was. It seems like it was Judah Harvey again, stringing that play out, making a play in the backfield. You got 3rd and 10 for Edgewater. As an Apopka fan, this is good. There's been a lot of bleeding early on in this football game, and for them to come out here and make a play just after the offense getting 1 first down, feel good.
Carter Emanuel from the right hash will take the snap, looking towards the left side, now steps up into the pocket, throws it over on the near side, incomplete. Tyson Carter almost had it, and it looked like he lost his footing as he was breaking out towards the sideline at the 30 as the throw was going all the way across the hashes to the other side of the field. 4th and 10, Edgewater's punting this one away.
That was an NFL-type throw. You get a comeback on the far side. That's difficult, and Miles Fielding, the cornerback, 5'11", 180 for Apopka, did an excellent job of running the route and gets his hands through the ball and dispatches it after the catch. So excellent job by the DB there for Apopka, giving his team the ball back. Gotta love that type of play, especially for Apopka, where it seemed very bleak on defense. It seemed bleak in general. Every phase has been an L so far. So to come out there to start in the middle of the second quarter and have a 3-and-out against this offense after what they just did to you, that shows that this team has some grit. Now, on the other side, that's where things are going to really have to start picking up. You need this offense to get more than just one first down. You got to start getting some points. You're already in the whole 3. You got to find a way to get it done this possession if you're Apopka.
Over halfway through the second quarter with Kinley Curvin out to punt this one away for the Edgewater Eagles. And back to receive for the Blue Darters is Miles Fielding, the senior. Kinley Curvin from the 15. As Fieldings will take the punt from inside the 25-yard line. He'll go towards the far side. Now he's got some blockers up front. Gets around a few defenders by Edgewater, dragging a few men up to the 45-yard line. A good return of about 15 yards there by Miles Fielding, the senior, who is their punt return and kickoff return specialist. And now their offense will come out onto the field with 5:21 left to go here in the second quarter. Alvin, I have a question for you. What does Apopka change here on offense to try to beat back this Edgewater defense?
We need more of Miles Fieldings. He just snapped so many ankles on that. And realistically, you just got to get the ball in your dynamic playmaker's hands. And it seems like Demarion Cawthorn is going to be that guy.
3 receivers over to the right side of the line. The ball gets snapped from the left side. And this will be a quarterback keep for Davison, who goes towards the left side. Loss of 2 on the carry as he was going over towards the far side. Xavier Denmark with the tackle.
Realistically, for this Apopka offense, I would like to see some more spot concepts, maybe a Texas route from the running back, and just trying to open up this Edgewater defense, because right now they're able to just hang out in the box. The front seven's doing all the work, and DBs haven't had too much work outside of that Demarion Cawthorn throw that got him their first down.
We really haven't seen Davison throw it too much. Now he will on this possession, and that one just right through the hands of Judah Harvey, the junior, on the near side. So they take the snap out of the shotgun and throw it again across the middle of the field towards the far side. Hashes, and that one falls incomplete. Tyson Davison and the Apopka Blue Darters now have it at 3rd and 12 from their own 47-yard line left hash.
Just beating themselves right there. You get a nice 5-yard out, and really no one's on you. So that incompletion right there is the tail of the tape for this offense.
The snap to Davison, who's dropping back under pressure. He'll be sacked. Aiden Anderson among the few. 3 Edgewater Eagles swarm Davison back to the 30-yard line. That's a loss of 15 on that 3rd down snap. 4th and a mile and a half as Apopka's kicking this one away.
Aiden Anderson and Will Marzov has done an excellent job in this game so far. Have their fingerprints all over this one. You got a big hit on kickoff. We got multiple TFLs. Right there is the latest sack for both of them. Just beautiful job reading their keys. They're playing so fast and free. Love it.
Samaj Fleming will now take this one from inside Edgewater zone 40. Now cutting towards the near side. Left hashes from the 50. Now into Apopka territory up to the 40 before he is out of bounds. So he returns it 20 yards into Apopka territory from Edgewater's 40-yard line. A nice return there by Samaj Fleming, who's a return specialist. He's a wide receiver. He's a slot. He goes into the Wildcat. He can be a running back. I remember earlier in his career in high school as well, we've been covering him since he was a freshman. I think he played some snaps on defense. What can this guy not do?
Lose.
That's well, there you go.
Yeah, he's a true athlete, and every time he touches the ball, it's a big play that's waiting to happen. His vision is incredible, and obviously his agility and accelerations are also feats that he's top 10.
1 receiver left, 1 over to the right. Out of the gun, the snap, and then the handoff to Perry, who's got blockers up front. Perry up to the 40 or 35-yard line now before running someone over. And after the first down carry, picks up about 8 yards over to the near side, 2nd and 2. They got to make it up to the 27-yard line.
Edgewater defensive backs are just jumping on the Perry train.
And Perry is going to get the block up front again, just gets back to the 30-yard line. That's going to be no gain. Maybe they give him an extra yard, and the officials are nice. They're going to give him an extra yard, 3rd and 1.
Henry Pickard does a good job of just getting back and dumping on that play. First play was a little rough. Got the brunt of that force from Perry, and then on that second play is able to get his hips down, drive on that roll tackle, and get a short gain.
3.5 minutes left to play in the second quarter. Carter Emanuel and this Edgewater offense will be taking the snap from the 28-yard line, and they will change where the ball is placed from the middle of the field to the left hash outside of the numbers. I don't get that. And the officials are going to take a timeout themselves. They need to discuss what's going on. 3.5 minutes left to play here in the second quarter. So Apopka gets one first down. Edgewater turns them over. Coming back the other direction. Edgewater within striking distance.
I'd like to take this time to recognize our pregame meal, folks. The Edgewater Eagles would like to really sincerely thank B Girls Catering for providing tonight's pregame meal. That's over 100 really big eaters. We sincerely appreciate you providing the meal to our players, coaches, and support teams here tonight for tonight's ball game. Big shout out to B Girls Catering. Thank you. First down, Eagles.
So the fans started cheering because on that last play, Josh Perry, who was tackled on the outside, was able to pick up a first down. So Edgewater has a 1st and 10 now from Apopka's 28-yard line left hash. One receiver left, one over to the right. Two fullbacks in the game blocking on both sides of the line as Carter Emanuel will be back to snap. And he's going to float this one towards the pylon on the left side. Incomplete. His intended receiver going towards the back left pylon was Tyson Carter.
That's exactly where you want to place it. Outside where your receiver can get it, and if he doesn't get it, it falls harmlessly out of bounds. Retry.
So Coach Duke for the Edgewater Eagles actually lost his headset on that one as he was talking to Carter Emanuel. Had maybe some choice words for him after that play. I mean, Tyson Carter did have the cornerback beat by a step or maybe even 3.
For sure. But if you're going to make a mistake, you make that mistake on the outside.
Yep. And now they'll give this one off to Julian Prime, who can't get anything going past the 30-yard line. And actually, in fact, lost 2 on the carry. And now it'll be 3rd and 12 coming up here from the left hash.
Kingston Shaw, the DN, 6'4", 235, does an excellent job of not only spilling, but making the play. How many times have you seen that? That's J.J. Watt type stuff, and we just saw it there. It's Apopka defense just giving a little bit of break, some time to do some adjustments on the side with that offense, just getting 1 first down. They look a lot better.
So the Eagles are going to take another timeout with 2.5 minutes to play here in the second quarter. Obviously, Coach Duke very upset with Emanuel after that last throw that he made over into the corner, and they're going to talk this one over as an offensive group. They've got a 3rd and 12 when we come back.
By emailing or calling 407-835-4906.
Edgewater with a 3rd down and 12 to go. They're in between the hashes from Apopka's 30-yard line as they send out Perry to the right side. Carter Emanuel looks at him, and now we'll dump it off to him. He's got some room to go as Josh Perry gets the first down past the 20 inside the 15-yard line. Josh Perry on the little underneath throw, able to turn what was negative yardage into a first down.
There is never a situation where you throw a flat route, have 2 flat defenders, and they gain a first down. And that's what we just saw.
Carter Emanuel calling his own number again from the 15. Carter Emanuel lowering his shoulder. Does he get in? And he got in his third score of the game from the ground. Carter Emanuel, the steam train will not be denied. A 27-0 game. Carter Emanuel punching it in for his second touchdown of 15 yards in the contest. Wow.
This is Murphy's Law, is it? Where everything that can go wrong will go wrong, and that's what's happening to Apopka's defense. You got three guys able to make contact on the quarterback of the opposition, and somehow, some way, he barrels over them and scores for a third time on the ground. Nasty work for Apopka's defense.
Kinley Curvin will kick this one up and through. Kind of reminds me of Chase Carter a couple of years ago that, you know, he used his legs to kind of get his arm going. And Carter Emanuel, obviously a very talented arm as well. And we're sort of seeing him in all facets of the game here. And it's a very different script than we saw last week, where in the first half, the run was completely being denied to the Edgewater Eagles. In this matchup, they're running all over Apopka, essentially. Is that what you're seeing?
They're getting everything they want, and it just starts with the big dogs up front. They're doing a good job of creating lanes and giving Emmanuel Carter just time in the backfield to see, and he's not looking at the rush. And those were the two keys for the passing game, and we haven't seen any drops yet either. So everyone's doing what they're supposed to do. They're doing their 111th, and they got 28 points to boot. And on the defensive side, they've been thumping, reading keys, flying around, and on the other side, defense is held up to 0 points. So just all in out, it's an Eagles smackdown in this first half.
I was going to originally ask you, you know, this high-powered Edgewater offense versus this Apopka defense, who had only given up 12 points coming into this matchup. Edgewater's now doubled that, plus 4 extra points, because it seemed like after the last game, Edgewater versus Jones, that their defense maybe was a little more of an issue. But turns out everything going well for Edgewater in this matchup. So now here's the return by Miles Fieldings, who gets up to middle of the field, up to the 35, 40-yard line before he is tackled just inside the 45, maybe made it to the 42. Wow, nice carry there.
All I know is Miles Fieldings needs to see the football a lot more. I want him on the offensive side if I'm Apopka. He had an excellent punt return. He had an incredible kick return just now, and he's going to have all that offensive prowess on the sideline, only playing defense and special teams. So I would like to see Miles Fieldings on this offensive side catching some balls along with Demarion Cawthon, because those two are dynamic.
Fieldings actually goes over to the far side and now is being looked at by a few of the trainers. Looks like he's able to walk it off, though. Me and my handy-dandy binoculars here, Alvin, following your guy for the Apopka Blue Darters.
They're just trying to check to see what's in his lungs, and it found out that he got that dog.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's exactly what's in him. 2 receivers left, 2 to the right. Apopka takes the snap from their own 42, an out route over to the near side. Pass caught by Noah Morgan, who gets out of bounds. A throw to the far side hash as he made it up to the 46-yard line, but only a pickup of about 3 on that first down throw.
That's probably the 6th or 7th time they've ran that, where that number 2 receiver is running that out, and then that number 1 receiver is running that go. If I'm Edgewater, I'm jumping that and taking that to the house. That 5-yard out on the far side is such a long throw. Very disadvantageous for the offense.
From the right hash at the 46-yard line, Davison back to throw over to the middle of the field, and he heard the footsteps of big Gentry Wood coming in to lay some wood on him.
Right there, just skips it over to Jaquan Walker. He did a good job of winning on the inside on that slant pattern, but unable to get that ball up and at his chest. And, man, these are the opportunities that Apopka's missing out on. It's 3rd and, 7? Really could have used that first down.
Under 2 minutes to play here, as Davison will take the snap, looking left, and now he's going to run it himself from the 40, now the 50. He gets the first down, now to the flat on the right side, up to the 45, 40, and 35, almost up to the 30-yard line is where he runs out to. And a big 25-yard scramble run up the field and a first down for Apopka. That's their second first down of the game, Alvin.
That's what he's going to have to do. Davison coming into this game, 96.5 yards on the ground, and that was his first time really showing us how he does it. And you wait until your plays develop, DBs are downfield, linebackers are in their gaps, and he finds a crease and makes a man miss. That's kind of the offense we're going to need, and we're going to need to see Davison show that dual threat ability.
1 minute and 34 seconds to go here in the second quarter. Edgewater's got a 28-point lead, but hey, Apopka creeping deeper into Edgewater territory. Let's see what their offense can do. When we return, you are listening to CBS Sports Digital Network, presented by Advent Health.
Fun.
A minute 34 to go. A 1st and 10 for Apopka. Davison back to his pass, and he is going to be sacked inside the 45-yard line. Was ratcheted back. Wow.
Right there, trying to get a hold of Cameron Medina, trying to get that connection. Just a little bit of miscue. Obviously, the pressure's there. He's not able to put on his numbers, but Medina sat that route down. That's going to have to be a bang-bang play because DBs are driving on that. Another area of Edgewater's defense that looks very improved is this back end, back four, DB core, whatever you want to call them. They're stout. They're reading.
From the 31-yard line, they're going to give this one off to Devin Simmons, the tailback. He gets a block up front, goes towards the far side before he's taken out from the legs on the far side. Gets the first down, though, was tackled by Jatorian Mack, the defensive back. But a first down for the Blue Darters. So, inching closer and closer into Edgewater's defensive territory. And this is their first time in the red zone.
Jatorian Mack had a phenomenal outing. Scored on a fumble last game, had an important PBU on the back end, and right there saving the touchdown.
Davison is back to pass, looking right now at the 30 as the defender breaks away, throws it over the middle, incomplete. A nice try there as he saw the pressure barreling in on him as he tried to get that one to Jaquan Walker, the sophomore who was on the go route.
Right there, the inability to complete that. And granted, there's a lot of miscommunications, just unable to, whatever the case is, the inability to complete those passes when you have that window, that's huge, especially in the red zone. Hopefully, for Apopka's sake, they can correct that and do their touchdown dance. Davison
back to pass, now scrambling out to the right side. He's going to throw it, and he will be sacked back at the 30-yard line, taken down by Will Marzolf, your guy, Alvin. Him and Aiden Anderson have had their hands all over this game on the defensive side for the Eagles.
Again, and just working a quick move, they understand that you don't have to go down the entire man. You go pick an edge, pick a shoulder, and work that side and get in that backfield. And just when Apopka thinks they have some moves, Edgewater snuffs it out.
3rd and 20 for Apopka with 45 seconds to go here in the second quarter. And, based on that last one, Edgewater had Apopka into their red zone. So Apopka actually did pretty well there on this offensive drive, had Edgewater backed up into the red zone. And then now you have a 3rd and about 25 to go from Edgewater's 27-yard line right in the middle of the field.
Honestly, Apopka's made some adjustments that has worked. However, you want to get something out of this, whether it's 3, whether it's 7, whether it's 6. You just want to get something out of this going into that halftime, because if you're Apopka, you have to feel like you figure something out going into halftime. You can make some adjustments, and you can put up 28, maybe even 30 points in this second half. But it all starts with this possession on 3rd down, making sure you get in the field goal range or touchdown, get some points on the board.
Davison in the backfield with Simmons at his left hip, gun left, as Davison takes the snap and is running over towards the left side. Now steps up to the 35, throwing it into the middle of the field, almost intercepted. That one goes right through the hands of the defensive back who was covering the receiver on the out route. 4th and 25 coming up from Edgewater's 25-yard line.
Jaden Brown does an excellent job of being patient in his back pedal, keeping his hips square and just driving at that 45-degree angle to make a play on the football. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to keep it, but the receiver didn't either. PBU, 4th and forever. Edgewater's defense bent, but it looks like they're not going to break.
So Apopka is going to go for it on this 4th down. 3 receivers left with 1 receiver over to the right side. 39 seconds to play in the second quarter. The snap comes from the 27. Davison looking towards the left side. He's going to float this one back towards the corner and well out of play. A turnover on downs. Edgewater with 32 seconds left is going to get it from their own 27.
Just a little bit of confusion on that one. It just seems the route, the ball placement, everything was out of whack on that one. But a few hits do that to a quarterback. You're not stable. You're not necessarily comfortable in your drop, and you're trying to get rid of that football before the routes will tell you to get rid of that football. So unfortunate for that offense. Did a good job of getting some yardage, but still have that nasty goose egg on the scoreboard.
Apopka still has 1 timeout left. Edgewater with none. So 32 seconds on the clock. We're going to see maybe Carter Emanuel try to air something out. 2 receivers over to the left side, 2 over to the right for the Eagles. Gun left, Josh Perry is the tailback as Carter Emanuel will call for the ball at his own 23-yard line. Now looking over towards the left side, pass caught. Josh Perry tackled for a gain of about 3 or 4 on the reception. Second down.
And they're in that hurry up. This is good practice getting in that 1-minute drill.
So now the snap and the spike by Carter Emanuel at the 25. And that'll kill the clock. So 3rd down and 5 to go for the Eagles with 12.7 seconds left to go. So not necessarily a 2-minute drill being run here. This is a 35-second drill. I don't know if they practice this. Do they practice this, Alvin?
35 seconds is rough, but
Yeah.
really, you get in that 2-minute, you kind of know what you need to do, and this is great practice. Try to see if you can't get to that midfield and get yourself in field goal range within that time allotted. You might need this come playoff time.
Gun right as Carter Emanuel takes the snap. He's back at the 25-yard line on the deep drop, and he's going to throw an interception on the near side. That was intercepted by Miles Fieldings, your guy, Alvin, as he makes it back towards the middle of the field at the 30-yard line. Clock ticking down, and time expires after Carter Emanuel, who's had one heck of a first half, throws his first interception of the match. We saw that last game against Jones, but Miles Fieldings with his handprints all over this game. But Edgewater does pitch a shutout. 28-0 is the score going into halftime. Josh Guerrero will have the halftime show for you coming up here. Edgewater's offense has been fantastic until that moment, and Apopka's defense needs to start holding it up a little bit more. We'll see what happens when we return, but we're going to take some time going into the half. Josh Guerrero will be with you after the break. You are listening to CBS Sports Digital Network, presented by Advent Health. Quick update for you. We had 5 seconds put back on the clock here as the tackle was made on Fieldings with 5 seconds left as he got back up to the 30-yard line. So we're going to pause on our halftime break for a sec. The flag came from the league official after the fact.
Everyone's confused.
Nobody knows what's going on. Obviously, head coach Cam Duke and head coach Jeff Rolson are asking a lot of questions right now. And so instead of 5 seconds, there will be 1 second actually put back on the clock. So obviously lots of confusion here going into the half, and it wouldn't be high school football without a little confusion. So it's good for everybody. It makes sure we're all alive, alert, aware, and enthusiastic about high school football, as Davison will be joined in the backfield by Devin Simmons. Davison will take the snap. He's going to look to throw this one long, but he's going to feel the pressure and get absolutely knocked on his butt. A flag comes in from the end zone, and it's picked off. That one is going back on the near side. That ball from Landon Gaines. He's still on his feet, escaping a couple defenders, gets back to the 45-yard line. There was probably a hold. There was definitely passer interference in the end zone. Time had expired, so that one they're going to have to tack on to the second half.
Yeah, a lot went on there. PI was first for sure. So regardless of how excellent that return is, you get a hurdle, a spin, YY action for sure. But definitely a PI on the back end. And I'm very curious how they will rule this, if they're going to get this back now and give Apopka a chance to kick a field goal, or if
Correction, number 6, Landon Gaines on that interception.
curious to where how they're going to do this, because if you get those 15 yards, you just take that chip shot and go to halftime with 3 points, and this is a huge victory.
So with 1 second left, obviously the PI then came with no time on the clock. So they reset to 1 second again?
Plus, in plus 15
Interesting.
yards. Plus 15 yards. Honestly, if I'm Apopka,
go for it.
I'm kicking a field goal.
Oh,
I just
really?
want to get some points on the board
at
this point. But scared money don't make no money.
Yeah. That's why I love Las Vegas. Go for it, always.
And this just
Hammer red.
Apopka apparently does not have a kicker.
Oh.
So that changes the dynamic of what your play calling will allow for.
So Davison will now take the snap from the 15-yard line right at the middle of the field. 3 receivers left as Davison takes the snap, looking left, now over to the right, throwing it towards the pylon, and it is caught out of play by Demarion Cawthon. Those two had a connection earlier, but the ball was just thrown a little bit far of the end zone. So that's how we're going to do it. We're going to end the first half on a lot of confusion. I'm not going to do a big outro again because, obviously ended the last one on a lot of confusion. And you don't get 2 long outros, in the words of Tom Brady. We'll take it to break.
Welcome to the CBS Digital Network halftime show presented by Advent Health. 28-0 Edgewater is leading Apopka. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm kind of disappointed to be an Apopka native right now. And granted, I never went to Apopka High School. Shout out Legacy High School. Fly Eagles Fly. Shout out Russell Hunt. Terrific athletic director. Only reason I'm here right now. But, dude, Apopka, barring some occasional moments, looked absolutely abysmal out there. Edgewater outclassing them in every single right. Like, Carter Emmanuel looked like the star of the show. This is why he is a 3-star recruit. He's showing it right now. He had 3, not 1, not 2, but 3 rushing touchdowns in that half alone, along with a passing touchdown to Samaj Fleming. Those game notes that I brought up for Apopka lock down the running game, they're not doing that at all. They're letting Carter Emmanuel have free will and Josh Perry. Granted, they're slowing down Julian Prime a little bit, but they're not doing much in the run game. I said to get Tyson Davidson going, I'm going to be honest with you. He's an athletic freak. Don't get me wrong, but through the air, I'm not going to lie. I haven't seen anything that I'm liking. I'm not impressed by Tyson Davidson right now. And then don't let up the big plays. You're letting up big plays. Samaj Fleming, Tyson Carter, Carter Emmanuel, Luke Anderton. You're letting all these guys absolutely torch you right now, and it's absolutely looking embarrassing for Apopka. Apopka let up 12 points this entire season. This half alone, 28. That's more than double what they've been doing. So Apopka has to step it up in a lot of ways. Granted, I'm absolutely loving what I'm watching out of Edgewater right now. That offensive line is holding up very well. The offensive line for Apopka looking absolutely abysmal. The defense for Edgewater leading by Aiden Anderson and Will Marzoff. They're getting absolutely after the quarterback at every will point in time. The only thing I saw out of Apopka that I liked was Miles Fielding. That guy's an absolutely dynamic playmaker coming out of the end zone. Had an interception to about the 25-yard line. Almost gave Apopka an opportunity to have something good there, but nothing ever came of it. But Samaj Fleming was an absolutely big star throughout that first half, as well as Carter Emmanuel, of course. He had a 45-yard reception. He was returning kicks for over 15 yards. He was looking absolutely incredible out there. And don't get me started on Luke Anderton. He had 2 20-yard plus receptions, and I don't know what else I can say about this Apopka, or not Apopka defense, but Edgewater's offense. Then Carter Emmanuel is going to be an absolute beast. We might see this guy play on Sunday nights one day, ladies and gentlemen. He's going to be at quarterback, who knows? But all I know, Carter Emmanuel, dynamic playmaker. Josh Perry even had a really good half. He's a dynamic playmaker. Samaj Fleming, dynamic playmaker. Chris Tyson, deep threat. What's there not to like about this Edgewater offense? And their defense, we're going to see a lot of stuff in the future from Aiden Anderson and Will Marzoff if they keep playing like this. So, Edgewater, what I've had in my game notes for them, they've done absolutely perfectly. I looked for Apopka to keep their defense guessing, keep Apopka's defense guessing. What have they done? Trust me, they don't even have them guessing. They have them straight up confused out there. They don't know what to cover. They can't tackle much out there except for a couple plays, but they look confused. They have a 1 interception, and that's about it. I said prioritize using the versatile Samaj Fleming. I'm not going to lie. They've been doing that absolutely perfectly, whether that's on kickoffs, whether that's on regular plays through the offense, on the slot especially. I've seen a lot that I've liked out of Samaj Fleming. So they've done that. And then speeding up Apopka's offense, they haven't only sped it up. They've allowed all of these pressures. And not only are they speeding them up, they're getting a whole bunch of pressures, a whole bunch of sacks, a whole bunch of forced unnecessary throws. I'm absolutely impressed with what I'm seeing from Edgewater. I said my prediction was going to be 27-7. I'm not going to lie. It's looking like one of those running clock games, ladies and gentlemen. Now, this is what both teams need to do because, granted, this is high school. In high school, it's not over till it's over. I've seen a lot of games where I've seen comebacks from 20, 30 points. I mean, even Edgewater had a game that they blew a couple weeks ago against TFA. So this is what I'm looking for. Apopka, I mean, you got to step it up in every different category. You need to get Tyson. You got to get him protected. You got to get your quarterback protected. Tyson Davidson. I mean, he can't do anything if he's not getting protected. And then Tyson Davidson, you got to make better throws. Once you make those throws downfield, make sure you have that little bit of protection on you. Maybe you can find your guys wide open. And on the defensive side of the ball, I mean, granted, we've seen a lot of highlight plays from Kingston, but the rest of the defense has got to step up. I know early on the defensive line was looking really good for a moment, but they got to start stepping up again, man. And then for Edgewater, I got one simple thing for Edgewater. Keep your foot on the gas. Don't let up for a moment. Don't let this thought go into your head of, yeah, I got this for sure in the back. Because guess what? This is high school football. You never know what happens in high school football. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, that is your halftime show. That's my input. We'll be back in another 9 minutes with Jesse O and Alvin Delvey back in the studio. You're listening to the CBS Digital Sports Network, Edgewater, Apopka. Edgewater leading 28-0, presented by Advent Health. We'll see you after the break.
Now you can redeem points
Back here for the second half of action between the Edgewater Eagles and the visiting Apopka Blue Darters, as the Eagles are on top by 28 points right now, 28-0. They pitched a perfect game in the first half, only let up 3 first downs. Jesse O and Alvin Delvey with our producer Josh Guerrero and Josh Vandergrift somewhere around the stadium. So Alvin, what corrections do you think Apopka needs to make to potentially hopefully get themselves back in this game? And if you don't think they can, what should go on tape for themselves for the next game?
Well, it has to be Demarion Cawthon. He has to get the football. He has to make plays with said football. Another person who's really stood out is Miles Fieldings. Granted, he's taking a beating on that pick that he was returning. He took a shot to the hip and was a little bit slow to get up, and he was a little bit slow to get up early in the game. So just a little bit worried about where his health lies, but in his heart, he is a true dog, true competitor. And those are the two guys that I've seen with the ball on offense that has done things that's been electric. So I'm excited to see what they can do. As far as just getting first downs, the difficult throws, the 5-yard outs on the opposite hash, those types of dangerous throws with low reward are something that I would like to see eradicated. More so hitches, more so crossers, trying to get some mesh concepts, maybe even a flood if you really want to stick with those out routes. And honestly, things into the boundary and just making those throws a little bit shorter. And then on the back end to play off of that, Tyson Davison, if he could start utilizing his legs a little bit more, he gained the first down, utilizing his squirting out and getting the big play there. So maybe by utilizing some play action, some spot concepts, maybe a Texas from the backfield, maybe some screens from the back, you can get the defense from Edgewater to stop being as aggressive and playing as free as they have.
Christopher Clayton and Malcolm Jones are back to receive the kickoff here by Edgewater. Kinley Curvin will be kicking this one away. Also back to receive Donovan Muldrow. Curvin and the Eagles with a 28-point advantage in the ball game. Kicking right to left. Bang! Here we go. Friday Night Lights, part 2 for the second half of the night. Now here's Malcolm Jones from the far side inside the 10-yard line. Now makes it out to the 15 before he slips and falls at the 20 on the far side left hash.
Return doesn't make it to the 20. The Darters will take over first and 10.
Good job by the cover team for Edgewater, just forming that net and making sure that they get a play there. Difficult for Apopka, man. You got no points on the board. It's just.
I love how you turn that. It was beautiful how you turned that into the Edgewater defense. I thought you were going to say, good job by the grass getting the stop there because he slipped and fell.
They formed the net. They made him try to do too much, and his feet decided to yeet on him.
So the handoff goes to Sanders, who goes up the middle towards the outside hash up to almost the 30-yard line. Maybe got there, and if he did, that would have been good enough for a first down, and it is. So the fourth first down of the game for Apopka.
That was honestly the best run that they've gotten outside of the quarterback tilting it himself, and that is nice. Maybe run through the B gap on the left side again.
So they're going to give it to Sanders, who goes through the left side and makes it up. Another 9-yard, 6 or 7-yard carry. One judge signaled 9, one said 6.
Okay. We're starting to see the powers work. Left guards pull in, and he's able to see a crease and get right up in that A gap, and we're going to see this D-line from Edgewater get the first time where they have to buckle down.
The snap on 2nd and 3. Sanders gets the tail back roll again and goes up to the left side. Good for a first down. 5th first down of the match now. Up to the left side. Makes it to the 41-yard line. Still in Apopka territory.
Jockey Sanders is 5'7", 160, but he is running between the tackles and gaining first downs, positive yards, falling forward. Don't look at that 160. He got some dog in him.
One receiver left, 3 to the right. They're going to give it back to Sanders, who goes right up the middle again, and that time he's spun down for only a 2-yard gain, 2nd and 7 or 8.
It's only a matter of time before the D-line starts to wake up. Brian Porter, 5'9", 240 pounds, a true bowling ball, wrecks some pins there and gets a tackle for a short gain.
Apopka's now got it at their own 43 left hash. 1-by-3 formation with the receivers as they'll swing this one over to Sanders, who goes towards the right side of the line again. And it's taking a few Edgewater defenders with him up to the 50-yard line, 1 yard short of the yard to gain.
Gabe Markaj, 6 foot, 200-pound senior, jumped on the 160-pound train. And that's that dog we were talking about, the ability to keep your feet churning when a guy outweighs you by 40 pounds and has you by 7 inches. That's a big deal for Sanders. They got some juice in the second half.
They're 1 yard short of the line to gain. Sanders punching right through the gap and getting the first down up to Edgewater's 44-yard line.
He's going to have to hop in a cold plunge for sure after that one. That was a shot he took, and he's going to get some much-needed rest as we get Devin Simmons, a 5'11", 175-pound back, comes in. Maybe he's going to tote the rock and have some same success because so far in this second half, this third quarter, this front seven, these O-linemen have been creating some holes.
Davison takes the snap from the 48 as they hand this one off to Simmons. No, and it's a quarterback keep. Davison even got me on that one. Brought down 1 yard short, 2 yards short of the first down line, 2nd and 2.
That's honestly a great job by Davison. He does an excellent job of looking at Damian Moore. He sees him crashing down on that dive, keeps it, gets upfield, and forces a DB to tackle him. That's exactly what you want in the run game.
So we're seeing run after run after run. You think another one's coming here? I think so as well. In this one, they will give it to the tailback, Simmons, who plows his way forward for a first down up to the 33-yard line. Gain 5 on the carry.
So we mentioned at the end of that second quarter, Apopka looked good as far as making some adjustments, getting some first downs and things of that nature. We were like, yeah, they're going to make some adjustments. And no one, including myself, I didn't expect the adjustment to be, okay, let's run down Edgewater's throat. And for that to work, for them to gain this much first downs in this possession just by running, whoa.
That one, they give it off to Simmons again, who goes forward for another 5 yards.
What is happening right now?
Yeah.
So last week, the issue was physicality up front, the inability to consistently create pressure and clog up holes. And to start this game, it looked like they've corrected all of these things. And coming out in the second half, the Jugs, the front line for Apopka has been flat back, creating holes, moving men off their line, and the backs have been doing excellent work.
Here's Sanders again. Sanders can't be brought down. Good for a first down. Picks up 8 on the carry. Up inside the 20-yard line. Apopka's in the red zone for their second time of the game.
And you could hear a pin drop in this stadium. No one is expecting this to be how the second half was going to go. We were talking off air. We're thinking there's going to be running clock. We got to get all our good stuff out quick. And Apopka has some other things to say. And it's been power right, power left, QB sneak, and they've got themselves knocking on the red zone.
Sanders is the tailback out of the gun right. Davison takes the snap. He's back to pass. Now looking towards the left side. He's going to be sacked at the 30. The second time they made it into the red zone, and the second time that Edgewater on the next play has come away with a sack. That's a loss of 10 yards.
That's the definition of letting your foot off of their neck, getting your foot off of the gas and slamming it on the brake. The run's working. The power has been gaining you 6 yards a pop, 8 yards a pop. You throw a wrinkle in there, do a read option. That gains you 8 yards. There's absolutely no reason to switch that up and go into a pass because now you're not only behind the chains by a little, you're behind the chains by a lot.
So they're going to give this one to Davison, who just has his pass batted down up front. And another pass, like you were saying there, the run was working. They kept going play action to Sanders twice in a row, and both times Davison was swarmed by the Edgewater defensive front.
Edgewater got relatively bailed out on this possession just from the simple fact of trying to fix something that isn't getting. By that one pass getting you off schedule, now you're in a situation where you're second and long, that's a passing down. Now you're third and forever, that's obviously a passing down. So two things that the offense has struggled with in that first half. You eradicated it by utilizing the run. You would have scored some points on this, but now you're so backed up, might not score, and your chance for momentum may have been snuffed out.
Tail of the tape, 3rd and 20 now as Davison will just fall forward on a quarterback keep. Did not get anywhere as he just made it back to the line of scrimmage. 4th down, and obviously the only reason you call that quarterback keep there is you know it's a 4th down territory. You're going for it.
Yeah, for sure, but realistically, the only reason why you would go away from the run in that situation is if you're trying to protect your backs. And it's just my mind is blown just from the standpoint of something was working so well. You got Edgewater on their heels, and then you go away from it, and now the train is off the tracks.
Davison back to pass. He's swarmed, hit as he throws over to the far side. Incomplete is what it looked like. Noah Morgan with the reception. That clearly bounced, but I guess they're calling that a catch.
All dogs play, I guess. It definitely looked like it got skipped.
Wait a sec. Hold on. Interesting. I keep my mouth shut because I got in trouble last year and had to apologize to the FHSAA.
Yeah,
I was out here.
3 blind
Josh,
mice, and I'm
yeah.
one of them. So I don't know what just happened, but I do know that one play call is what stymied that offensive possession. You've gotten excellent possessions. First down has been gain of +6 each and every time. We switch it up to pass, and from there, the drive. And so all you NCAA players, Madden players, if the run is working, run the football.
So Edgewater's offense actually now comes back out onto the field from their own 20-yard line after an interesting catch by Noah Morgan on the other side, but he did not get the line to gain. So Edgewater takes over on downs. 1 receiver left, 2 over to the right. They're right down the middle of the field as Carter Emanuel will call for the ball. He is back to pass. Now we'll have to scramble it over to the right side, tucks the ball now past the 25-yard line, out over towards the 30. I don't even know if he got close to that first down marker. He did get somewhere in the realm as he rolled out to the right. Immediately felt the pressure there. Nice blitz by Apopka. Well-timed with 6 minutes and 19 seconds left to go in the third quarter, and it'll be 2nd down and 2.
He has a lot more wiggle than you give him credit for just because he likes to sit back. He likes to throw the football. You think he can't get out of there, but great job blitzing on that right side. But, you lose contain on the left. He gets 8 yards on the gain.
Here's the snap. Give off to Josh Perry, and Perry trying to put his shoulder down to get forward and got back to the line of scrimmage, or maybe he lost a yard based on where the near side judge is standing. Still in the middle of the field, 3rd and 2.
Trevon Williams doing an excellent job as a D lineman, just running with the guard. Guard pulls, I pull with him, and makes a big play. Looked like he was going to get that football out, but nonetheless gets a tackle for no gain, and something you want to see out of your defensive tackles.
So the Eagles are going to go Wildcat here, as they had a lot of confusion going on with 5:42 left to go there. 3rd down and 2 to go. We're going to take a timeout with 5 minutes and 42 seconds to go here in the third quarter. Edgewater with a crucial play to try to extend their drive. Coming up when we return. Edgewater lining up in the Wildcat as they have a 3rd and 2 from Apopka's, from their own 38-yard line as they take the snap. Samaj Fleming able to not get the line to gain. That's the first time he has not been able to get positive yardage on a play today. Up until that point, Apopka did not have an answer to stop him. And Edgewater is going to have to kick this one away for their 2nd time in the ball game.
Kingston Shaw, 6'4", 235, and he is a junior making plays like that in a backfield against a guy like that in this moment in time in football is incredible, and that's something that he's going to have to build on. So we get 2 plays where D-line for Apopka make excellent jobs right there, knifing in by number 15 to make that play. The play before, 99, retracing his steps and getting another play in the backfield. So D-line has stepped up tremendously for Apopka. Now, if you're the offense, not only do you want to run the football and get some positive yards,
that one is blocked at the point of contact for Kinley Kervin's punt. Up front, Apopka is going to come away with it at Edgewater's 25-yard line.
Donovan Muldrow, outside linebacker, 5'10", 180, does an excellent job off the edge of bending the corner and sticking his hands from his waist directly out and just taking it off the foot of the kicker for Edgewater. And, of course, who else? Kingston Shaw, the one who just made the TFL on third down, is the one who catches it. Excellent field position for Apopka. This is where they made their mistake last time. Let's see if they learn.
Apopka takes it from the 25-yard line, and they will give this one off to Sanders, the tailback. He's stuffed. No gain on the carry. 2nd and 10 coming up. Clock ticking down. 4.5 minutes in the third quarter.
Looks like Big Soul Williams, 5'10", 240, the D lineman senior, was on that one, doing an excellent job of not being moved off his mark, defeating the run block. You get a base block as a DN, you got to defeat it. Makes a play.
The snap to Davison, who slings it over towards the left side, incomplete. Jaquan Walker had his hands on it. I don't even know if he was prepared for that pass, but it goes right through his hands.
So the inability to connect in the first half was huge, and now since that run got stopped on first down, second down, you got to be prepared for the football. Whenever it's your opportunity, whenever your number is called, got to be prepared. Love the saying, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. Right there, Jaquan Walker was caught lacking.
Gun right. Sanders the tailback. Davison takes the snap, rolling over towards the right side, throwing on the run, and it was incomplete. That one broken up by Damian Moore, the intended receiver. On the corner route was Noah Morgan, the senior.
That was really a great job by Damian Moore. Getting underneath and understanding your leverage on a corner route is probably the most important part of defending a corner route. Getting to that upfield shoulder and playing through the hands and being clean throughout. Excellent job.
So now it's 4th and 10 from Edgewater's 25-yard line, left hash. Apopka's going for it. Davison will take the snap. A deep drop for him. Doesn't see the pressure coming. Will slip out of the pocket, and he's tackled as he falls forward back to the 25-yard line. No gain. Turnover on downs.
Again, just difficulty connecting right there. Excellent pass rush by Edgewater's D-line, and just not enough time to get that ball off. Tries to step into the pocket. Unfortunately, there was no pocket. It collapsed. Great job by the defense of Edgewater, holding the rope there. Even after a block kick, short field, turns up with no points.
Edgewater 28, Apopka 0, 4 minutes and 3 seconds left to go in the third quarter. Edgewater coming off a 31-21 loss to Jones. I talked to head coach Cam Duke after the game. He said there were things we have to do a lot better. Seemingly they're doing it here. As Carter Emanuel will take the snap from the 25-yard line. They're going to hand this one off to Perry, who's tackled for a loss of 1 yard on the carry. 2nd down and 11.
Just an awkward tackle there. Whenever someone gets a hold of your feet when you're in traffic like that, you can't do anything, and you just stuck getting lumped up by the other guys that are rallying to the football. So great job by Apopka, to get in the backfield, especially against a guy like Perry, who's been really dynamic at turning his feet.
So when I was talking to Coach Duke, he said there were some things that we could have done better, but there were also some things I was really proud of. I thought the resiliency and fight in the second half was good. Here comes a pass over towards the 30 at the near side to Tyson Carter, who they can't tackle as they picked up 5 yards on the pass, 3rd and 5.
So good job by Christopher Clayton, the cornerback for Apopka, just not allowing too many yards after the catch. However, what I would have liked in that situation, corner has him stood up because trying to tackle out of a hitch is kind of difficult. The other guys rallying to the football, you got to start attacking that football. You got to try to punch that wrist. Sounds a little aggressive, but your goal is to break the wrist. You're not really going to do it, but that's the aggression you're ripping at the football with to try and get that ball to be forced into your hands.
They'll send Josh Perry out to the right side and immediately toss it over to him. Perry will break a tackle, now slips up, goes forward up to the 34 or 5 yard line, but gains only 1 yard on the pass reception from Carter Emanuel. 4th down for the Eagles. They might go for it here.
I think they should, and honestly just keeps this team honest. And 4th and short, you're up 28-0.
Now they're going to punt it.
That's the proper thing to do in these situations. Proper gamesmanship. I won't lie to you. If it's Madden, if it's EA Sports, I'm sending
Going
it.
for it. Yes,
I
always
just-
send it.
I just trust my passing abilities. The only problem with Road to Glory is you can't YY it when you want to. Only qualm.
So here comes your guy, Alvin, back to receive Miles Fieldings, who's had a couple good punt returns and a great kickoff return as well. He stands at the 30. Kinley Curvin, who had his punt blocked last time, gets this one away as Fieldings will signal for a fair catch at the 36-yard line.
I was about to guarantee 10 yards, but then Apopka's return team just didn't want to block for him. And
Yeah.
he had a fair catch. I'm saddened. I'm saddened by these recent
I bet you
developments.
are. You really wanted to see a return there, huh?
Oh my goodness, ankles get snapped up on punts. Like, that's just how things. The long snapper gets the first free release. You got the two gunners; they're running full speed at you. If a guy can catch it and get into his dance, two guys off the bat ankle snap, and then from there you get to wiggle and make a play. And seeing what he's been able to do with Fieldings with the football, I wanted to see something crazy.
So Apopka from their own 35-yard line. They hand this one off, and there were a bunch of hands immediately getting to Devin Simmons, who is dropped back for a loss of 2 yards on that first down carry right up the middle.
That looked like Aiden Anderson again.
Yep.
And if that was him for real, that he's really becoming a problem because not only did he take on the puller, but he tackled the back with his offhand. That is NFL type plays to take on a guard and get the tackle in the backfield. That's what Aaron Donald made his name in, making plays like that.
Now with a big loss, Davison will take the snap, and he's going to hand this one immediately off to Jaquan Walker. Walker going over towards the right side, tackle just before the 40, and flags come out after the play.
Yeah, you hate to see it.
Back, he got 3 yards.
Nick Collins, the play was dead. And granted, listen, as a safety, I understand you see a guy falling forward, you see numbers, and your job is to push the pile back. But unfortunately, his knee was on the ground, and when he came in a little too low. Head was a little low, and you got.
Targeting on the Eagles.
I understand the aggression, and these are the types of situations where, as a safety, specifically DB in general, you have to be so on point. And it's moments like these where, okay, you got to dial it back a little bit, but you don't want to get out of your game. You still want to be playing fast. You still want to be trying to push the pile back. You just want to make sure your head's up the entire time you're doing it.
So Apopka now in Edgewater territory from Edgewater's 46 right hash. Gun left as Davison takes the snap, hands it off to Simmons, who goes right into the pile. Gets back to the first down marker. No gain, 2nd and 10 coming up.
And that's honestly why it's so important when you have a team on their heels, you don't let it up, because every possession has a life of its own. The last possession, A-gap powers are working. You're getting really bellies, and then you're getting some outside zone stuff. You're able to complement with read option. Whereas this possession, that's not what's working. The D-line for Edgewater, they snuff that stuff out. They're in that different front. They got to overlook, and they're really being stout in their keys, and there's nowhere to go. So this is where you want to run some of those spot concepts. Maybe run a Texas out of the backfield. Maybe get a screen pass if you would like out of the backfield.
Here's Davison back to pass from the 35-yard line. Was feeling the pressure. Incomplete. As intended receiver. Down the middle of the field was Judah Harvey Jr., who was in double coverage as well.
Difficult throw in double coverage. Obviously, you have Judah Harvey there, and that's someone that we've known Tyson Davison to like throwing the football to, but in that situation, just a little bit difficult. Even if he was to catch it because it was high, his ribs would have been tattooed right down, and he wouldn't have liked that too much.
So Edgewater puts up 28 points in the first half. Apopka still looking for their first score. 2 minutes and 10 seconds left to go in the third quarter, where we have not seen either team score. 3 receivers left, one over to the right. As the snap goes to Davison, 3rd and 10, as he's going to throw it over towards the left side. Incomplete. His intended receiver on the slant was Damiron Cawthon, the guy Alvin said that they need to get the ball to. And now Apopka is going to bring out their punting unit here on 4th down. Really the first time they've had to punt in this second half.
Yeah, and really, again, Edgewater's D-line did an excellent job, and it looks like they're going to get after it on this one. Apopka better stay on their P's and Q's.
Samaj Fleming is back to receive with Tyson Carter. who still has not singled. Fair catch, and he will take it from the 15. Now gets up to the 20 before he's pushed out of bounds with 12.4 seconds left to go in the third quarter.
Yeah, going back to that last possession with Edgewater's defense and the attempt to get Demarion Cawthon the football. He did an excellent job on that 10-yard dig to get some space, but when the D-line's active and you've been touched as a quarterback, it's kind of difficult not to anticipate that the D-line is going to get to you again, and you get that football out earlier than you should have, and that's what we've seen there. The ball was behind, but he threw it before Cawthon made his cut. So a little bit of a bang-bang miscue by the Apopka offense.
One receiver left, two over to the right for the Edgewater offense. Now takes over from their own 20. Carter Emanuel calling for the snap at the 15, goes right, and now on the read option, we'll give it off to Perry. Perry up the middle, and now going towards the far side. Hash gets up to the 30-yard line. That's a first down carry of 10 yards. Still 4.2 seconds left on the clock.
That's really an excellent job to hold that read so long, allowing them to get on the outside, and from there, Perry's able to just get right upfield and carry guys.
So after they move the chains, Edgewater will not take the full clock, and the time will expire. So going into the fourth quarter, Edgewater pitched a shutout in the first half. They've now pitched a shutout in the third quarter, but neither team scores in that third quarter. Are we going to see some more offense in the fourth? Stay with us. We got more football on the way. Back here for the fourth quarter of this matchup between Edgewater and Apopka. Edgewater leads 28-0. They have the ball from their own 30-yard line right at the middle of the field. They send Samaj Fleming in motion, and now Carter Emanuel will be back to pass and goes over towards the right side at the 25-yard line, still behind the line of scrimmage. Pass caught, Tyson Carter with open space from the 50, now the 40. They try to force him out of bounds, and they get him out at the 30.
30 yards on the play. First down.
A 30-yard reception by Tyson Carter. Carter Emanuel's #1 throwing target this season. Big first down for the Eagles.
Carter to Carter on that end cut, and Emanuel did an excellent job of stringing it out, utilizing his legs, improvised a little bit, and big play.
And he's going to use his legs here from the 30. Will get out towards the flat on the right side, inside the 25-yard line, gets up to the 23, as the chains weren't even set up yet on the far side to signal where the first down marker even would go, so it's going to be 2nd and 3.
Well, if you're the chain gang, just get ready to move those things again, because right now, the way Edgewater's rolling, it's very difficult for them to stop. And honestly, that's the best part about their offense. Yeah, they can ground and pound, you run between the tackles, but then you get all the trickery. You get the read options, you get the deep digs, you get the deep 10-yard ends, you get the flood concept. So you have an open playbook, and they're showing it.
From the 23-yard line, Josh Perry with the carry as he goes to the left, and he's tripped up and brought down by Caleb Reed for only a gain of about 1, maybe marking him just a yard short of the line to gain. 3rd and 1.
That play is going to be on Caleb Reed's highlight tape, because that was an excellent job of reading keys, pulling the trigger, no hesitation, and perfect execution on that tackle.
10.5 minutes to go here. Edgewater scores, and it's a running clock. Emanuel calls for the ball as they give this one to Josh Perry, who is again spun down, this time by Titus Terrell.
Titus Terrell, Jamarcus Tanner, Travion Williams, all those guys in the backfield. It's a problem if you're Edgewater. Excellent field position after the big play, but really outside of that pass, 2nd and 3rd down have been relatively marginal for Edgewater's offense.
So Edgewater loses one on that one, 4th and 2 now, but the Eagles are going to go for it.
Eagles are going for it.
So one receiver left, one over to the right. Edgewater out of the shotgun. He's also in the pistol formation. So Josh Perry is going to remain in the game. He's going to go up to more of a fullback blocking spot on the left side of the line. And back was Julian Prime, the tailback, as we take a timeout. Edgewater did not like what they saw from the Apopka front. So we'll take a timeout as well. 9:37 to go here in the fourth quarter. Edgewater up by 28, inching towards the red zone. The Eagles are going for it on fourth down in Apopka territory with the ball at the 21-yard line, left hash. One receiver is over to the left side of the line, two over to the right. Julian Prime is the tailback at the right hip of Emmanuel Carter. In motion goes Brandon Paul to the right slot. Emmanuel calls for the ball, immediately rolls over to the right, throws that direction. Pass cut, Brandon Paul up to the 20. That should be good enough for a first down, and it is. They get 3 yards on the reception, and they'll move the chains into the red zone.
I know Braden Carter's not here for Stats Live, but I believe that's his first catch of the night, and what a way to make your impact felt by getting a first down on fourth down and getting the chains to move. So love that for Brandon Paul. Love that he got got a catch registered, and love for it to be on fourth down.
Yeah. So Edgewater now working from the right hash at the 20-yard line. Apopka's showing 5 up front, as Edgewater will move the protection over to the left side of the line. They will take the snap. Julian Prime now going up the hole created in the middle by that front line. Gains about 3 on the carry up to the 17-yard line. Second and 7.
That time he looked like Isaiah Pacheco, just angry running, like just stabbing the ground with his feet. And I have to imagine he's grunting each step. Like, that was just the most angry looking run for 3 yards I've ever seen. And honestly, love that for him.
8.5 minutes to play here in the fourth quarter, as Prime will go out into the right slot. 2 receivers left, 3 over to the right. Empty backfield for Carter Emanuel, who takes the snap, and he's going to run himself. A good block up front by the offense. Carter Emanuel diving forward, loses the football at the 1. It pops up in the air. Did Apopka come away with it?
17 or 18 on the play.
So he runs it all the way forward. Elijah Henry has the football right now, and it is a turnover inside the 5-yard line as Carter Emanuel was falling forward.
This is where I wish we had replay, because he got leveled. And I can't see exactly who did it, but I'm going to say that was a DB on that far side. And the ability to not give up on a play, especially when he's reaching forward, trying to get a touchdown and just lay the hammer. What a way to not break on that possession.
So Carter Emanuel, with his second turnover of the game, already has a pick thrown, and this one now a lost fumble. So Apopka's in their own end zone as their quarterback, Tyson Davison, will take the snap, but a flag comes in from the near side line judge. We might have had some movement on that line a little bit too early. Apopka obviously can't get backed up that much more. They're inside their own 5.
Yeah, and realistically, even though it's a great play by the defense, man, is this offense in a load of trouble. Your running back's in his own end zone. Oh, you're walking in the right direction if you're Apopka. Edgewater biting themselves in the foot here. But realistically, for Edgewater, the deal is the same. You have to plug up gaps. You have to be sound in your keys, and you have to make sure your eyes are where they're supposed to be.
So interestingly enough, that actually goes against Edgewater. And that's why they're down on the field, because I did not see that. but can't say too much. Not getting in trouble again this year, Alvin. I'm not doing it. Gun right for Davison, who goes play action, and now is spun down inside the 5 anyways, falls down to the 2-yard line. So again, they go forward, and then they lose 4.
Yeah, that's just one of those plays that looks kind of crazy. And it looks like that was Damian Moore coming in on the blitz. And typically, you don't want to be jumping up while the quarterback still has the ball in his hand. But he was able to land and get his hands on the pads of the quarterback, gets a sack in the most unlikely of ways.
So Apopka now back in their own end zone. Ball will be hiked from the 2-yard line right inside the middle of the hashes. They hand this one off to Sanders, who's going to try to plow his way forward to the outside. Churning his legs, gets up to about maybe the 5-yard line. It's going to be 3rd and 10 coming up with 7 minutes and 15 seconds to go here in the 4th.
Outside of that drive to start the 3rd quarter, there really has not been too much to be excited about for Apopka's offense. And the fact that that drive didn't end in points really leads me to believe that this game is going to end kind of how it started. Very lackluster for Apopka's offense. Stellar showing for Edgewater's defense.
3rd and 9 as Davison takes the snap, throws it over to the right side, incomplete. Bounced off another receiver. That one was Demarion Cawthon.
The worst part about it is obviously, okay, the plays aren't working, but then as realistically, when you're playing football, the biggest thing you want to do is you always want to exude toughness and exude confidence. And that's why the body language is always important. You don't want to have hands on hips. You don't want to be sunken shoulders. You want your head held high. And right now, Edgewater exuding that confidence. Heads high. They feel good. They're hopping up. They're jogging on the field. Apopka, on the other hand, every bad play, you see shoulders slump, you see hands in the air, and you see walking. Tales of 2 different stories.
Back to kick this one away is Michael Wells, who's in the back of the end zone to receive for the Eagles, standing around the 40-yard line. And actually, Apopka's going to go with a trick play over to the far side. They get the first down and then some before a slam down. That one taken all the way up. Demarion Cawthon
That was
converts.
That was beautifully executed. Right when I was just dogging them for having bad body language, you just pull off an amazing play, having the kicker act like it goes over his head in the end zone, and then you get an excellent job running up the sideline, and you move the chains in the most unlikeliest of ways. So hats off to Apopka for having the gusto, the gall to pull off a call like that.
Tyson Davison, the quarterback, will take the snap from the 25-yard line, and they'll give it off to Sanders, who goes up the middle. Good for a 1-yard gain, 2nd and 9 from the 30.
And this is just one of those things, especially when the run game has worked for a moment and then now it's getting snuffed. Man, do I just want to see a halfback screen. It just, you know, the big dogs up front give a good hard push, and then from there let the D-line win. They've been winning all game. It's hard for them to decipher that this isn't more of the same. And then you just throw that ball right over, and then that running back's able to wiggle up the field. But Apopka has not run any trickery outside of that fake punt. And I feel like right now is the best time to do something.
5.5 minutes to go as Davison takes the snap, and he will go quarterback keep, running right up the middle, plowing his way to the 35, 36-yard line, right down the middle of the field. Picks up a bunch there. 3rd down and 2 to go.
Honestly, pretty solid run there. Good read, keeping it and getting directly upfield, north and south, not wasting too much time with the east and west stuff. Gets a hurdle. Now it's 3rd and short. Honestly, run play again. Get that orbit motion and then get into that triple option and see what he can do with the football.
Under 5 minutes to play in the 4th quarter. Gun left between the hashes. Ball snapped from the 35-yard line. They're going to hand this one off to Sanders, who goes up the middle. Did he get to the first down marker? It looks like by the far side judge he did, and they will give them the first down as that ball went up to the 37-yard line, and a timeout taken on the field with under 5 minutes to play. It's 28-0. 2 teams that came in top 10 in the central part of the state. Apopka in 7A, Edgewater in 5A. And we'll throw it to a break. It's a 1st and 10 for Apopka from their own 38-yard line. As Tyson Davison is trying to mount a little bit of a drive here for the Blue Darters. Now they have a man in motion, and they will give it off to him. Jaquan Walker going towards the far side, gets a block up front, and probably gets the first down up to the 48-yard line. We'll see where the judges marked him. That's the far side judge's call. The near side judge said he got out at the 46. And far side said he was 1 yard short of the first down marker. 2nd and 1 now coming up from the 47.
This looks very reminiscent of the drive that they started the third quarter with. And now that you have some things going, it's really been on the edges. So now stick with that theme, throw a little bit of trickery in there to keep the defense honest. But that's what's working this drive, and see if it can take a life of its own that ends in points.
And by throw the trickery in, he means don't throw the ball, like actually run a running play. Yeah, run a running play. And they got the idea. They're going to go forward, and Simmons will not get the line to gain. Tackled back at the 47-yard line. They still need 1 more yard to go. It's 4th down.
This has really just been excellent. We've talked a lot about what Apopka should do and thoughts of it. All of that does not matter when Edgewater's playing the type of football that they're playing. The D-line has just been living in the backfield. Linebackers have been flowing so freely. It's just been incredible to watch them dominate in the run.
Davison will hand this one off, and they're barreling in was Simmons. Is that a first down? Oh, it's so close.
Pads were popping for sure.
No, it's just short inches, and this is actually 4th down.
Tush, push.
Might as well try anything at this point. The run game seems to be working.
If your quarterback's able to squat 600 pounds, then tush push is probably the best play you can do in this moment.
By the way, Apopka has never beaten Edgewater under Coach Jeff Rolson's tenure here for the Blue Darters. Gun right, the snap, the handoff, and he'll be brought down short. Devin Simmons going towards the left side of the line. Edgewater's defense fired up.
Will Marzoff again. Multiple times we've said this man's name in the backfield, and he does it on 4th and short. What a play by number 15.
So with 3 minutes and 1 second left to go, Edgewater and their offense coming back out onto the field with Christian Henderson, the tailback now. The senior, 5'10", 175, seeing his first minutes at tailback. Third string tailback, Josh Perry, Julian Prime. The normal ones, Carter Emanuel, spins out of traffic and now has a lane to go. Goes over towards the right side to the 40, sliding inside the 40. That's a pickup of about 8 yards. 2nd down and 2 to go from inside the 40-yard line. Edgewater in Apopka territory.
Snapped a couple ankles, got upfield, got right up there, and then slid. Very, very smart play for Carter Emanuel.
So Carter Emanuel, the quarterback, but Tyson Carter, who is the receiver all the way out to the far left side, is actually Chase Carter's younger brother. Chase Carter, the quarterback for Edgewater, a couple years back, as they'll give this handoff to Christian Henderson, who plows forward for the first down up to the 30, gain 6. And now the Eagles will move the chains as the time keeps ticking down, getting closer to 2 minutes left in the ball game.
This feels good. Obviously, finish this drive strong, finish this game strong, enjoy it for now if you're Edgewater, but you know you have a long road ahead. First time we've seen them at 500 for a very long time. So they know this year looks a little bit different. You got different players out there. Some are the same, a lot of new, but the goal has always been the same. You're just one step closer to achieving it.
Edgewater came into the game at 2-2. Apopka came in at 3-1 overall. But like we were saying in the last game, there were the seasons where Edgewater was making the state championship. The last time they made it there, they went 8-3 in the regular season. They give the handoff immediately to the tailback, and he got slaughtered. Christian Henderson had nowhere to go.
Well, Trevon Williams has honestly had a heck of an outing. And right there lays the smackdown, just making sure that even though you may have beaten our team, you will hurt tonight. And that's what he did right there. Great job reading. You see a couple of down blocks. He's expecting a puller. There was no puller. He gets to the running back and detonates.
You love yourself a good defense, don't you?
It just makes everything right in the world. When defenses play well, offense has time to do things that they need to do. When defenses play bad, offense usually looks horrible.
That's why I put pads popping in my intro. They give it off to Christian Henderson, who goes past the 30, now the 25. Now he's loose. Christian Henderson will walk in untouched for a touchdown from 30 yards out. With 48 seconds left to go, Christian Henderson punches his first touchdown of the season.
How about that stat line? 1 carry, 1 touchdown for the senior. Gotta love how the play has developed for the senior.
So he scores that one from quite a few yards out. And with 48 seconds left to go, I guess this, after they kick this, it would be a running clock for the final 48 seconds. What do you do, run the clock for 48 seconds?
Quickest 48 seconds you've ever had.
I've had quicker.
For some odd reason, I don't doubt you, but this has been an excellent showing from Edgewater defense. 3 phases of football, true domination. What an outing for the Eagles. Oh, you just got to love Friday night football.
Friday Night Lights is the best. So Apopka, coming off a 49-0 win, gets blanketed now as the clock is running. Down from 28 seconds. Apopka still has not scored in the ball game. So they had a running clock in their last game against Ocala West Point. The defense obviously only allowed 12 points coming into the season. Or especially, this game. Davison had 4 touchdowns in their last contest. And these teams are going to get together and shake hands. Apopka doesn't even get one last chance on offense. And the Eagles are going to win this one 35-0. Good comeback game from their last contest against Jones that kind of left the Eagles in a little bit of a heartbreak and a little bit of maybe the players in a little bit of desperation saying, hey, we got to get back to over 500. We haven't been at 500 except when it's been 0-0 anytime really under the Duke tenure. So very glad for the Edgewater Eagles, and obviously Apopka has a lot to learn from the game. We're going to get into all of that and more in our post-game show. Next, 35-0 is the final score of this match. Stay tuned. Josh Guerrero will join Alvin and I for the post-game show here, presented by Advent Health. Back here for the post-game show, Jesse O, Alvin Delvey, Josh Guerrero with our coverage of Friday Night Lights here. Gentlemen, That was a slaughtering, 35-0. Let's go initial thoughts first, starting with you, Josh. What you got?
I mean, oh my goodness. Edgewater put a beat down on them. I mean, granted, it was more in the first half than it was the second half. Obviously, we got the late touchdown by Christian Henderson. But, dude, Apopka looked outmatched this game in every facet of the game. Granted, second half, they looked a lot better. They did look a lot better. So, their defense really showed up in the second half, other than the final seconds. That's a defense that we've seen from Apopka, but, just tough game overall for them.
Alvin, Apopka only had 1 or 2 first downs in the entire first half. And, coming to you with the defensive question, impose your will is something you always say. And it seems like Edgewater was able to do that on the defensive side because of guys like Aiden Anderson in the front 7.
Yeah, and another person I really want to give hats off to, Aiden Anderson was phenomenal, but Will Marzoff was incredible as well. Just in the backfield doing aggressive things and the ability to get hands on an offensive lineman initially and push him back into your assignment. And from there, being able to see where the ball carrier is, rip off, and then make a play is something that we've seen him do time and time again. And when you have multiple guys on the D-line able to do things like that, being as sound as they are, and then your linebackers are playing free, it's just really difficult to get offensive drives going. And from there, a couple of miscues on Apopka's offense where you have a guy open, you're not able to get to him, or even just some of the play calling in a sense of going away from what's working. It's a recipe for disaster, and Edgewater's defense capitalized on it.
Carter Emanuel had 1 throwing touchdown, was responsible for 3 rushing touchdowns in this match. Samaj Fleming had a receiving touchdown, and then Christian Henderson at the end of that match ends up walking away on a 40-yard touchdown run. So next game's coming up. Apopka is going to go to West Orange next week to try to get a win over there. Apopka was rated number 9 in the Central Florida area. That's obviously going to drop now after this seismic beatdown. But Alvin, what does Apopka do better in that West Orange game in order to secure a victory?
Realistically, you got to get your playmakers involved early. Miles Fieldings did an excellent job in special teams, had a pick on the defensive side. Demarion Cawthon did an excellent job when he got the football. When he was open a few times, but he got the football once. He was able to make a play. And then we've seen Tyson Davison do a good job when he was utilizing his legs. And from there, realistically, building the offense around those 3 guys and allowing whatever's working to work. And I think the big sometimes with defense, especially when you're getting beat, is you try to do a little too much. And that's just, okay, I know these plays are working. Let me try and outmatch and out scheme and out where realistically, if the run's working, stick with the run. If the pass is working, stick with the pass. So just really simplifying the game for Apopka's offense is going to be the tail of the tape. And again, what we talked about last week for Edgewater, making sure that those front 7, they're really dialed in on imposing their will and making sure that if the trenches, that battle is won there, it's a lot easier for the skill positions to do damage.
And Josh, for the Edgewater Eagles, they will play Lyman at Lyman next week. A lot of good things here. Who are you looking for some big play from for the Edgewater Eagles going into that game against Lyman?
Man, and I know after what we just saw tonight, I mean, there's no doubt we're going to see a whole bunch of big plays from a whole bunch of people. But there's one specific player that I didn't really see a whole bunch of tonight, and I'm hoping to see a lot more in that Lyman game. That'll be Julian Prime. RB2.
Yeah.
Obviously had a rough game today, but we know this guy's a playmaker. We know he can make plays, scores touchdowns and everything. I want to see him get going against Lyman, start getting back on that track that he was on before, like for example, up against NFL Academy. He had a couple touchdowns. TFA, he was pretty solid. But the last 2 games, we haven't been seeing a lot of him. We've been seeing a lot more Josh Perry.
Yeah.
And a lot more Carter Emanuel, rushing. And we even saw a Christian Henderson touchdown. I don't think there should be any reason why Julian Prime shouldn't be getting in on that action because he's a great player. He's a great running back. And I can't wait to see what more he can do for this offense in the coming games.
So I think it's time to pick players of the game. Josh, we'll let you go first. Who is your player of the game?
All right. So I'm going to switch up a little bit here. I'm going to take Alvin's role. right? But here's the thing. I'm going to do 2 players. I'm going to do 2 defensive players on this side of the ball.
Oh.
My players of the game, Aiden Hall and Will Marsloff. I mean, they looked impeccable out there.
Aiden Anderson,
excuse me. I mean, these 2 were just absolutely incredible. They looked like, some of the more formidable duos, Rush ends out there. I mean, they looked absolutely phenomenal. Could not be stopped. It's like an Aaron Donald, Leonard Floyd type action out there. They looked impeccable, and I'm excited to see what they're gonna do up against Lyman, and when we come back up against Winter Park.
Alvin, your player of the game.
So that is what I was leaning with, but now we threw a little kink in the wrench. I like it.
I'm so sorry.
Defense, no, this is great. Defense is getting the approval that they deserve because, like you mentioned, Josh, they were incredible. But because you said the defense, I know I have a kind of an idea of where Jesse's going to go on the offense. I'm going to give it to my main man, Christian Henderson. Comes in, gets one play, turns it into a touchdown. As a senior, it's honestly a beautiful thing to watch. So I'm going to give him that game ball, especially to have that go into that running clock. So hats off to the defense for getting a goose egg on the scoreboard. The entire defense should get some kudos, but then got to give it to Christian Henderson for getting his first touchdown of the season.
Okay. I was going to go with Carter Emanuel.
I figured.
I was for his 4 touchdowns. 1 on the 1 throwing, 3 on the ground. I was going to go with Samaj Fleming, who had a receiving touchdown. Good to see Samaj get in the mix. I'm going to give it to an unsung receiver, Luke Anderton.
He was
Every
phenomenal.
time that they needed a first down completion, Carter Emanuel looked in Anderton's directions, and his sure hands brought in 20-plus yards on multiple occasions, especially when they were backed up, too. There was one play, they were on a 3rd and 15, 3rd and 20, and they throw it to Luke Anderton, and he's able to convert the first down. And these are not easy passes either by Carter Emanuel, not easy catches either by Luke Anderton. Luke Anderton was covered pretty much like a blanket a lot of the time. 2 defenders on him, sometimes 1 with a little bit of a switch. So I liked what I saw from Luke Anderton. You weren't expecting that, right?
No, I was expecting Carter Emanuel for sure. But then with Luke Anderton, I do love how he's just open. He kind of reminds you of a Kai Bates where he has the size, he knows how to utilize it, and he had sure hands, no drops. Gotta love it.
But listen, we still got to give our flowers to Samaj Fleming, Tyson Carter, and Carter Emanuel. I mean, they played impeccable this game. I mean, especially Samaj Fleming on those kick returns. Absolutely insane.
The paper's going to write about those guys. Those guys went crazy. We don't have to give them any more kudos and pats on the back. They know the job that they did. So, honestly, hats off to the entire Edgewater program. They had some extra time on the field today, really savoring this win.
By the way, Coach Rolson for Apopka is still going to be looking for his first win against Edgewater. He is 0-3 versus Edgewater, starting back to 2019 when he started. So Rolson's going to have to seek another year for that. Obviously, Edgewater and Apopka in different classes this year because they changed the conferences yet again. Conference realignment is getting out of control at this point. We need someone to fix all this. So anyways, I'm not the guy to do it, obviously. I'm just saying that needs to be someone to fix that. Anyways, we will be back with a broadcast here at Edgewater on October 6th versus Winter Park. That's a Tuesday night game. There's a chance we'll have a broadcast at Lyman next week if our main man, Josh Guerrero, can figure it out. So we'll see. We're leaving a lot of doors open. We're never going to close the door when we have an opportunity. Edgewater walks away with this one 35-0. They pitched a perfect game shutout against Apopka. So for our producer and host, Josh Guerrero, and for our fantastic athletic director here at Edgewater High School, and for my strong safety next to me, as always, my favorite person to work with, Mr. Alvin Delvey, I'm Jesse O, saying good night from Frank Lowe Field, where our final score is 35-0. We'll see you again, if not next week, in a couple of weeks here. But Edgewater brings the boom at home. A much-needed victory to put Edgewater up 3-2 now on the season. We'll see you in a couple weeks. Thank you so much for tuning in to Friday Night Lights, presented by CBS Sports Digital Network and EA Sports, combined with Advent Health.